Oh yeah, we're about to act the damn fool here on the Super Duper Morning Show. Now, usually around this time on Mondays we do the Monday morning mix, but we are going to be getting into the mix right now as we have a special guest joining us in the building, Mr. Claude Chacho Peterson, former MP and now the current, I don't know if you want to call him what, Prime Minister.
He's a PM. He's a PM FB Gov.
The founder, the governor, the king of Facebook government. I don't know what you want to call him, what position the people gave him, but he is part of Facebook government. Good morning, Chacho. How you doing?
Good morning, Super Kid. Thank you for inviting me. I always like to remind the people how this came about. Yeah. Because, people many times think you're on a political tour because you feel government going to fall. Yeah. You actually contacted me on Thursday.
Was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday. Now, when we contacted you, it was based off of one thing, and between then and now, so many other things has happened.
So, I wanted to suggest, if you guys agree, because it's good to let the people know I'm surrounded here by 4 guys, and thank God I have a beautiful woman. So I feel a little safer around that, knowing that I have one woman in the office in the studio. But I think we should let's discuss all the things that transpired.
Yeah, of course.
Then,
of course. But before we get into that, explain to the people out there what Facebook government is about, because
well, Facebook government is what came with that idea is as you know, the party I was with, and I was not re-elected. The party lost a seat. SMCP. So we can go into a million reasons why that happened, but I'm not going to do that today. That's the past. It's the people's choice, and so be it.
PFP.
Yeah. That actually, PFP contributed in great part to that. But now that you throw that shot on me, I'll fire back a shot on you, because as MP and even as Prime Minister, we made sure as SMCP that PFP got the opportunity to be in the election. Because you remember the governor put dates that PFP would not have been able to.
Yes, true.
So tell him thank you.
But that had happened to us also. So I felt and I knew that it would be our biggest competition, but I felt it was important that they also take part.
True.
Because guess what? I thought my hope was that we were going to get back at least the one, and PFP would get one or more, and then we would have more backup in Parliament.
True.
In any case, luckily for PFP, they got 2,
Yes,
because
sir.
I can tell you, being alone by yourself, right?
It's not easy.
And that den of hyenas, because sharks are honorable animals.
Wow.
Hyenas are not.
Wow.
Okay, so hyenas feed on carcasses.
Okay.
So basically, the Facebook government came about when after the election, and I started to hold the government accountable. Why? The new interim government led by Silvera Jacobs, and her interim government, that I knew they would have to do the things that they bashed, the things that we left behind. So they started with the airport. That was the first flip-flop, and then they have been flip-flopping ever since. And guess what? They're going to flip-flop all the way to 2024 because they don't have no choice. Because it went from flip-flopping with what we left behind, and they're going to have to flip-flop now with everything they're doing with the Dutch.
Right.
Okay?
And not only that, they also have a pandemic to deal with as well.
Yes.
And the pandemic is the same thing, is similar that we were dealing with after Irma. Because people don't realize the country was bankrupt after Irma. So we had, and I said it on the floor of Parliament, we had we were dealing with the worst crisis in the history of St.Maarten, right? In 2018, 2019, started in 2017. This government now is dealing with the worst crisis in St.Maarten history since 2019. I call it karma. But anyways, I went hard on Facebook, right? Because I'm a person, I don't like people to lie about me. And I don't like people to mislead other people in the face and see them getting praise for that misinformation. So I started to do my thing. The first months, of course, the biggest defense was on me, and that's the biggest defense they can fall back, is I wasn't re-elected. As if, MP is what I'm about. I think I was someone before being an MP, and I remain a person after being.
Because a lot of people use that against you. You weren't there, you didn't do what you were supposed to do, and now that you're not there.
The misinformation about what I did in Parliament also was real. And I think people are starting to realize now because the golden boy that was golden is not so golden no more.
He's silver now.
He ain't silver?
Not too much.
Silver, Lord.
Sorry.
Listen, even Brasso can't save he right now.
Oh my God.
Okay? He can't shine no more. That shine done.
Can't polish that rust.
No. And when you don't shine in your own generation no more, you have a problem.
Okay.
So basically, I started to say, I started to notice a trend during the COVID that when I would post things and other people would post things about decisions the government made, they would go and reverse those decisions. Okay, and that led me to start saying Facebook running government. Okay, and then that's when eventually, people love it, so they get private messaging. So I came up with the idea, hey, let's create a Facebook government.
Right.
Okay, I must say it's been a fun experience. It sort of pulled me out of the picture. I trying to make it, people will always think I'm political regardless because I'm being a politician, but it's really not about politics when we talk about a Facebook government. And that's why I post documents, I think, and when I give my opinion, I let you know that's my opinion, okay? But the reality is the incoherence is what brought me to create that. I must say that it's been sort of the hardest government I've had to deal with as Facebook government because I can't get no cabinet, no ministers. So nobody want to work for free. so basically,
it's just you on your own.
Yeah. I'm the secretary, the treasurer, everything.
And your school children.
Yeah. But I want people to know also, I don't take it more serious than that. Super. You understand? It's really something that sort of is a vehicle to speak, other than just Chacho, and it represents in many ways the views of more than me because I get a lot of information from people that are scared of speaking out because they will be victimized. So I hear the hurt, I see the hurt, they show me the evidence of the hurt. So when you see me sometime posting, right, and I just literally run people from their timeline, okay, and because one I post after the next, but remember those are coming from things behind the scenes, information either that I'm getting and talking with people. So it's sort of like also like a media thing because similar to the media, only that I put my opinion and I don't hide it, but the information keeps coming over and over. So aren't
you scared of being targeted yourself or victimized
or blackballed?
Well, I am already being victimized. I am already being victimized.
From the first post.
I'm unemployed right now. I'm going to go back in the private sector.
Yeah, sign up for SSRP then.
I'm thinking of doing that. And then
this is the last month.
I'm going to go to the SMDF and see what they can do for me. I'm going to ask Parliament for a dismissal letter. I don't know how that going to work if they can do that. You need a letter without my last job. So I need a dismissal letter from Parliament. So I might get blackmailed here too and blacklisted.
Pop King, I write the letter.
Yeah, Pop King, or better known as Pinocchio now. It's evolved.
Okay.
Pinocchio now. So basically, but I live a very simple life. I think, the vindication worries my mother more than anything.
I would be worried as a parent too.
She don't have GPS on me yet, but she have WhatsApp, so she just called me before I came in. Sure, just checking where he is and this and everything. I say, but you better come with me all over where I go so we can avoid this. In any case, the way I was raised in my life, the way I grew up, I think I was bred for this. My problem is if I hold something, I don't sleep good at night. So and make it worse, when you bring your suffering to me now, and I just don't act on it and ignore it and go sleep, then I go and sleep with your problems too. So guess what? We're going to let it out.
True.
Okay.
And let it go.
Now with all the leeway, as people would say, that Facebook government is making, why was it so difficult for you to do the same thing while you were in Parliament?
I did exactly the same thing, but what was very good in Parliament was the opposition. They did an extremely good job at undermining the government and shining negative image light on the coalition and actually helping UD implode, because that's what happened. When Marcelina and Brownbill did the thing, they imploded the party. Okay. I don't know about Brown Bill, but I know the other individual is sort of not too happy right now. You understand? So that vindicates me also, because I had conversations with those two individuals about keeping the stability, about them making the bad mistakes. But what was very well done with me, remember, a one-seat party, I had to do everything. And I was in a governing coalition in a time of crisis. Okay? When you govern in a time of crisis, St.Maarten people, population, they want results now. Okay? I never promise results now. Okay? That's why my votes, and I never buy votes, that's why I never have 300, 400 votes. You got to promise to go up in votes. I will not promise, because I know how government works. So since we got so much pressure, right, from the opposition, the negativity started. Guess what? It was easy also to target SMCP. Okay? And USP did a very good job of it, and certain members in the NA as well. So it went in a people's psyche, because, and we discussed this on your show, when I started politics, my goal was to start off in opposition. Because in opposition, you can talk, you got no responsibility. But when you're part of a governing coalition, right, it's not only what Chacho want to say, Chacho is part of a party, SMCP. So his words reflect on the party. His words reflect on the Minister of Education, the Deputy Prime Minister. His words reflect on the council ministers that the party supports. His word reflects on the coalition. Okay? So the thing that boggled my mind the most, and I think we just saw a perfect example of it with the open letter. And by the way, I think we created a trend. I don't know, because I could sell like about 6 open letters, 5 or 6 open letters.
Start coming out straight.
So I'm happy that people are speaking out. That's good. But the open letter that I saw from the member of UP, right, to the Prime Minister, right, I'm sorry to tell you, I will never, if I ever get back in that position, change my opinion of ambushing no Prime Minister, minister, whether they're in my party or not. Because that is not the type of open letter you put out to the media, right, on your own Prime Minister. So when she realized now that the people notice, but what are you doing? That mean, are you busting up, right? She then put something on Facebook and say she's doing her job and the Prime Minister know her sentiments already. But your team, there was things in that coalition that even with certain things with UD that people don't understand. Every week you have a coalition meeting. I am one that believes in separation of powers. So MPs over there, ministers over here. My first day on the job, right, we had a coalition meeting in the government building. All ministers with all MPs. I never knew, and while I knew about, I heard coalition meetings, I heard it, but I never understood that's really how it worked. So now we were now in that meeting basically discussing the affairs of the country. Not of parliament, of the country. Discussing what problems the ministers face. So I said, but wait a minute. That is kind of little uncomfortable. Then I spoke to some veterans and all that. They tell me, well, that is how the system works. It works like that in Holland also. I think not as close as we maybe do it, right? It works like that. But we had coalition meeting every Monday basically. So every Monday you have an agenda. The ministers are bringing the problems to you. You're discussing the issues. So how can I discuss issues with a minister, right? We come up with a way forward. This is why I want you to go work on to fix that problem, right? But then what I do, I rush now to go call a meeting to bring you in, right? And hit you hard questions and make you look like, no, I holding you accountable because I want to show the people that I grandstanding. Who in the right mind can reconcile that? I could not reconcile that because from the time I do that with you as a minister, you know what you do? You're a human being too. You gonna get pressure. Everybody gonna start to talk. The opposition gonna play it up, and guess what? That create a rift between me and you. Didn't it happen with the minister Tiat right now? Didn't she run back to parliament? Why did that happen? This her own party start to ambush her. Your coalition is supposed to deal with you and that type of setup. Since we have coalition meetings, deal with you behind the scenes, give you the opportunity to fix it. If you're a minister that gone rogue, like the former minister Tiat did, you remember that? Your boy that I keep calling you the name every time, right? He went rogue. He was sabotaging his own government, okay? And I got to the point of I dealt with him behind the scenes, right? And I got to the point I was going to deal with him openly on the floor. But nobody would have been blindsided with those questions. So, of course now, people will say, but That's not the Chacho we expected.
Right.
That's not the thing. I'm going to go back and look for the videos. Unfortunately, Parliament videos are very hard to pull back from the archive. You got to go through all the months and thing on Facebook to try find them, right? I'm going to go back and find the videos, and you're going to see how I was in Parliament up to when basically it became evident, right, that the coalition was going to improve. Okay? Because when I reached that stage, I was like, you know what?
You just done.
Gloves off. I am not going to go down in that as in this team, right? When nobody around me is playing teamwork. I defended those UD ministers, right? And I protected those UD ministers more than UD MPs. Okay? And that's the type of person I am. So at the end of the day, of course, they put it, you do not for the people. I had a law ready to go. The law on to authorize police officers to administer breathalyzer, to deal with different tests, to be under the influence, right? People have died on those things. It's happening more and more in different situations.
And we had the police officers in here not too long ago. They were requesting the same thing.
Okay, well, I did it based on conversation with police officers. Okay, and I focus on that first law. I work with the SG of Parliament, the one who's now the head, the big guy. What's his name? Garrick, right? And I used the new facility that Parliament created, which at Garrick would help you basically to write a law. So with my staff, faction staff, we put the ideas together. We did the research with Garrick. Garrick helped us with the legal things to make sure we were on track. We did, and the law was ready. When government fell, why would I bring that law? Right? For the opposition who was now in power to grandstand with it. They were blocking everything for me. I didn't care if I found a cure for cancer and I bring it to that floor of Parliament. They would not have done it, okay? Because they had an agenda against me. So that explains it in a way, super. Some people never want to accept it, but if I sit down really and tell you the stories that I experienced, and I'm going to always keep saying this. We're in COVID now, but the day you don't have that restriction anymore, go sit down in the tribune of Parliament. Because you know when the sweetest things has happened is when the
camera's off.
Okay? Then you will see who's who. Then you will see who's fooling you. Okay? So that's my answer to that.
All right. I even forgot the question.
I went on a little bit because it's important. It's not I can't give a short
answer. Of course.
It is something that you have to understand the whole background. What's clear to people now is that those individuals were full of hot air. You understand? I mean, I was never impressed, right? Because you could pull up on your computer and Google fast and pull up a document and research and thing. That's great to have. It helps you, right? But the certain individual also have the ability to talk with somebody, right? And they tell him where to look in a document, and then he talks about a document like he read the whole document and he did research for the 2 days before. But guess what? He only spoke about those points. But you know who didn't read the document, right? You can't challenge him on it because he sounds so convincing, right? You say, boy, if I go say anything about that, am I going to look bad because I didn't read it? So he may be right, he may not be right. You understand? So, but when you have now learned people, right, that read the law, telling you, Lord, he full of it. He full of it. It's a bunch of nonsense. You understand? I had to also restrict a lot of the attacks that I wanted to do. After the government fell, basically, you could see how I operated. But before that, I also had to remember I was by myself. Okay? And I'm going to be honest with you, and I can say this openly because it's what I felt, right? I did not feel I had any support from UD to have my back. So when they would lash me with things, right, I would have to answer back. But if it's a public meeting and I finish speaking and they lash me after, right, I don't have a chance to speak again. So in the case of PFP, when they lash Melissa, Rayon right behind, come in. When they lash Rayon, that's why I tell them they are lucky that they have that thing. Because it's a very difficult position to be by yourself and everybody attacking you. And when you look around to see who gonna have your back, right? The only people having your back is the people who WhatsApping you, but they're in the room with you. So, you know, it is what it is.
We got G Bunny here today as well. Early, man.
Yeah. I mean, Chacho's coming in. I got to skip the gym.
So let's talk about why we invited you here in the first place. Of course, you know, like you mentioned, an open letter was sent out. You wrote an open letter to State Secretary Knops. after the whole ordeal happened at the airport.
Yes.
And then we saw the Prime Minister asking for the money, and Knopf basically said, well, I'm not going to give you the money, release the money that we promised for the 5th tranche until everything at the airport is
resolved.
resolved.
Yeah.
So that prompted you to write the open letter and basically caused a lot of controversy. You got some praise for it, but also some controversy as well.
You know if he get it, first of all?
On the other side.
Well, I'm going to tell you the story. I'll answer that question for you.
Well,
What prompted it? I almost call it Stuart.
Again?
Wow.
Again, I don't know why. I think I could get therapy for that. I don't know why I relate
some
you
PTSD,
because I don't look alike. I don't nothing.
You got some PTSD.
Something in the back of your
Yeah, something.
Got to be. Something I don't know. But anyway.
I need to get some serious therapy and find out what it's thinking. But since last year, I've been posting a lot. And the things that I've said in that open letter, they're not new. I've been saying them, right? Before Knops, when he had announced about the Dutch entity, I said that's higher supervision on steroids coming.
Right.
Okay? I could see what was coming. I mean, we as an island, let's be honest, if these rumors are true now, we're going to 11 governments in 11 years. Okay? So that's one government a year. That's not a good track record. While that's 100% success rate, but that's success rate for bad things.
Right.
Okay? So the Dutch are watching. I mean, don't you think they're getting tired? Don't you think they're getting tired of the back and forth? Don't you think they're getting tired of giving money and hearing that they racist, they slavers, they this and that? These people know their history better than you. As a matter of fact, any slavery researchers have to go to Holland and their archives.
Right.
Because they have more archives about slavery than anybody else.
True.
Okay? So why are you playing that angle? So what ended up happening, you see over the months, I've been calling on the Prime Minister to stop lying and to be transparent. Knops goes to council of ministers meetings. As soon as he finishes, he sends a letter to the second chamber, to his parliament, and he sends it to the government of St.Maarten if he needs to send the letter. Right? He lets everybody know what he did. I take those documents, which are public, and I translate them. From what he says, many times referring to St.Maarten, I can deduct where he refers to letters from the Prime Minister sent to him, or he refers to the conversation. But why isn't the Prime Minister telling us? If she tell us first, right, then when Knops' answer come, then I know,
what to expect.
She did her part, and things like that. So I started to pressure. And then, of course, I have people that send me the letters from the Prime Minister, and she gets very upset when I put them up. But I put them up. Once they go to Parliament, once I feel it's a letter that should be public because it's the people's business. If Knops could put out his letter, why you can't put out your letter? Okay? So I just put out those letters. Now, what ends up happening is over the months now, I get more and more frustrated, I'll be honest with you, because I am seeing that I'm dealing with the pressure that of all these things that people telling me, the suffering. I deal with all these circumstances where I seen this country going to hit the wall. So I had this idea for this letter quite a while, but I just do things with my spirit. I do things organically. Okay? A few times I started to write the letter and then I stopped. But when I read that last letter, I want people to go read it on my page. I translated it. It is a letter that basically is very humiliating for the Prime Minister. Very much. Okay? Because the letter is a letter that really tells her, it's a letter that I compared to.
Yep, there you go.
There you go.
Sorry about that. I ain't get your internet and my data went off. Anyways.
They take you off of Parliament?
Yeah, they cut you off. They cut you off,
man. They take by the chip.
So basically, I lose my train of thought now.
The letter.
So basically, that letter is a letter like when you have a ex and she out there talking things about you, right? And you send a letter, tell you, remember the conversation we had? Remember I want you to do this? Remember I tell you to do this and you didn't do nothing? Well, guess what? You getting the money now. That's basically it. And you know I start off to? Send a letter to my father complaining about me, right? I'm going to tell you now, my father say, you have to deal with me because he don't want to be involved with you, which is Rutte, the Prime Minister. That's the second time she's being told that. Okay? How much time do you have to be insulted like that to embarrass the population? Okay? Then at the end of the letter, you know what he says? He says, since you made your letter public, right, to Rutte, I'm going to make my letter public. But if you read the tone of that letter is a letter that indicates to me the Dutch about to really clamp down one way or the other.
Because I was thinking to myself, I was like, if you look at the different letters that he sends to Curacao, that
you noted different tone?
Yeah, that he sent to Picas, he was a little bit more thing. He was like,
you want me to tell you the tone of his
IMF is there, you know, it could be an option that we can look at. But when he talks to St.Maarten, it was like, damn.
Because St.Maarten, he's tired of the lies, he's tired of the games, he's tired of the political games, the anti-dodge, the insults, the thing. No, Curacao, you know what Curacao tone letter tone had, right? Really a letter of I don't care. I don't care.
Right.
I made a deal with the former prime minister. You had an election. You're the prime minister now.
Right. They have nothing to do.
The terms are the same. If you don't want to go along with that, you want IMF involved. He made PISA look stupid because you know what he said? But IMF already involved in the lands packet, right? So I don't have a problem to talk to IMF. Good idea.
Right.
Let's contact them together. But if you don't want a coho, you don't get the money. And by the way, if you don't take the coho, right, you have to pay back the loans. Okay? Now, that's a person now that don't care. I don't care what you do. And St.Maarten case is a person that's frustrated. It's a person that got beef. So that is beef now. That letter's beef. So when I read that, I was really frustrated. So I got inspired and I wrote it. I wrote up a letter. It was to post on Facebook. Okay? I posted it on Facebook. When I post on Facebook, I usually post and then after it's up, I click on it and I go and I make my corrections fast, you know, and change up some things, right? While I'm busy doing that, 3-4 people jump on it already. Because I posted it only for friends. And then when I clean it up, I make it public. Then during that time, I get a message from a reporter from the Herald. Did you send it to the editor of the Herald? So I said, no, it was only for Facebook. But if I want it, I can clean it up, make it paper ready for the newspaper, and I send it.
Right.
So I started to do that. While I'm doing that now, again, not a message from somebody else. The editor want to know if you're going to send a letter. So I say, bye, these people. That never happened to me. Okay? While I go and check my WhatsApp now, I get about 5 WhatsApp from different people where somebody copy-paste the original version and it went viral.
Right.
Okay? And clubs get the original version.
Oh.
Okay? You get the original version. So I say, but Lord, that even worse because it ain't clean up. It ain't the way I want to talk to, you know.
Right.
So anyway, send it to the Herald. They got it. Conan Craig Relazzi contacted me to get it also. And Antians Dark Black, they took it from the Herald and they did it. So I saw that as divine. I saw that as this was meant to be. This wasn't meant to stay on my page because I didn't call nobody to put it out. I didn't try to go get no propaganda with it. I knew it would be controversial. Okay? And I got very good comments. And I'm going to be honest with you, the most negativity I got is who I call, and I haven't used those words in a long time, the Kool-Aid drinkers. So those that are affiliated to the older parties and the younger generation. The older generation, my generation, I got very good responses. The persons that are in higher positions, right, that actually influence the things in this country, I got very good responses. Okay? And that also, and I didn't need good responses because I stand behind my thing because those words, I came to it with a heavy heart based on what I experienced for all these years and as a member of parliament, what I see. What I'm seeing, super, is the fact that the politicians, right, including the new ones now that are being led by the older ones, right, whether in the COM or in parliament, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop in a time of worst crisis and put people ahead of their agendas. Okay? They're not going to stop.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw the letter from the President of Parliament that went out to the Prime Minister asking her to, what was it?
Decolonize. Is that the right time for that letter?
Right.
Especially seeing
Is that the right time for that letter? And Clubs is coming Thursday? Is that the right time for that letter?
Right.
No. I've been asked for a referendum, nobody want to bring it. But they want to decolonize. And they have managed to try to bring out a propaganda to the people that decolonization is not independence. They go hand in hand. Independence is a result of decolonization.
Yes.
Once you decolonize,
that's the next step.
Because you remove all my influence from your country, I'm not part of your country no more. Then, as an independent country, we can discuss whether I want to associate with you. Because Barbados, for instance, have association agreements with Britain. But that's because they left on good terms. Okay? No. You want to live on bad terms and associate with them? You want free association after? But come on. So, when you see those type of things happening, And if you hear all the rumors now, and if this results to a new government, that would prove even more that I'm right for the words that I said, calling for higher supervision. Because what is clear to me, they're not going to change on their own. Because like I said in the letter, and I've been saying that since last year, the outside handlers, right, which many people don't realize, is everybody just think it's one particular individual. But the outside handlers is a generic words for every minister and every MP that have somebody handling them. Okay? It's either their team that put them there, it's either the people that give them the money to buy the votes, it's either people that have interest in their portfolios and what they got to do. So that's running the country. And guess what? By them firing the CEO at the airport, which in itself should not have caused any problems with no financing, because you can't attach financing to a particular individual. For instance, what happened then?
Yeah,
okay?
True.
But what the firing provoked, and I warned, because I'm on record warning, right, is that it's going to show the Dutch that basically the outside handlers have the power, right, to do what they want in that company. Why you think they stop the money? Because the Dutch now see evidence of what I've been saying over and over, which many people didn't believe. Some are higher people that I spoke to were looking at me like, that sounds kind of far-fetched. What's their agenda? That's not going to go anywhere. And now those people are repeating the words. Those people are now telling the Dutch those things. Okay? People are saying, I just talk to the Dutch. I don't talk to the Dutch. I got one Dutch friend, right? One Dutch friend. He's in Holland. The guy is a cool guy. And the guy proved to me that he loves St.Maarten. He loves St.Maarten because I can't get him off my WhatsApp every morning. And the guy kisses me up. Okay, he's more concerned about what's going on here, and it's somebody that used to live here. So the thing about it is, what do we want? Do we want a better St.Maarten? Do we want a better life for our people? Do we want a country where you can make it and be prosperous based on your hard work, your education, the things you put in, right? Or you have to be affiliated politically, or you have to compromise your integrity. What do we want? We have to decide. I know what I want. I want a country, right, where you're going to never get rid of all the corruption, you're going to never get rid of all the nepotism, but I want a country that when it becomes obvious that corruption is there and nepotism happen and conflicts of interest exist, that is solved. Somebody got to resign from the job, somebody got to get punished if they do something illegal. Okay? So, that's what I'm about.
So let's talk about some of the contents of your letter. You of course, one of the main points is you pointed out to CNUPS is probably higher supervision from the Dutch. Now, a lot of people would say, that's treason. What are you doing? Do you want the Dutch to have such a stronghold on St.Maarten? And
Now, higher supervision, I couldn't explain it in that letter because it wouldn't have made sense. Okay? But higher supervision comes in many different forms. The higher supervision I'm talking about is higher supervision that the Dutch pretty much, right, put a professional cabinet in place. So find 7 ministers on this island, people that are not politically affiliated. It's kind of hard to do, but there's some people in this community, right, that don't have nothing to lose. The politicians can't shake them left and right because they're either retired, they're self-employed, that they don't need nothing from nobody, and that type of thing. Find those ministers and let it be about rebuilding the country. We're not getting no puppet ministers for the Dutch either. Ministers that are going to do the right thing.
Right.
Okay? But they're not discussing from a political perspective. They're discussing from a perspective what's best for the country. The country needs to be cleaned up. None of the conditions that CNUPS give, in my opinion, are conditions. Because I've said it over and over. A condition is not a condition if it's something you need to do for your best interest. Okay? So when your mother tell you, right, you're not going to go to the movies until you clean your room, right? That's not a condition. You should be cleaning your room.
Regardless.
You're going to benefit from that room because her room cleaned. Okay? So those type of things, no. Higher supervision. You know when you get high supervision? When you prove that you can't do things yourself. When you prove that no matter what it's trying to help you, you're still going towards the wall. So I give 2 options. Higher supervision, which I know is a very long shot because it's not Statia. Statia is a Dutch entity. So it was easy for them to come in and do what they did in Statia. But St.Maarten have status aparte. And the Dutch will not easily come in and put higher supervision because it's a status aparte country. So then the whole rhetoric going to come, you're taking us over, you think. But I wrote it because it had to be written. It is something that they have to consider. Now, the other option that I put on the table is and I've been writing this on Facebook also, and this shows the right show to say it. Stop the sugar daddy relationship, because that's what's going on, right? Knops is a sugar daddy, and St.Maarten is the woman, right? That when she get what she want from clubs, she go out liming all over the clubs. She ain't want to go nowhere with a sugar daddy, right? She ain't want to be seen with them. But when her money run out and bills come, she ain't line with Super and Roma and them no more in the club. She buy me, right? and now I hearing Roma and all them saying, boy, Chacho so stupid because he giving she all the money and she the bad talk him and say this about it. So that relationship gotta stop, okay? And you know how it stops? It stops when you stop giving them the money and you prove to St.Maarten people, right, that without that Dutch money, which the Prime Minister herself admits, which all of them admit, right, in one way or the other, not so much a coalition, but mainly the Prime Minister, that we can't do without. But guess what? When we don't get it, right, and we have the first month that civil servants can't get paid for 2 weeks, right? Let them go unpaid for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Nobody gonna die. And guess what? When that happens, right? Trump ain't gonna leave them go without getting paid, right? When that happens, guess what? The politicians that are there can't come back play that game, because every time they play that game now, the people gonna say, "Oh, you're gonna put me now to not go get a salary again,"
right?
Okay? Because people don't realize, and civil servants, a lot of them, they pump up their head against me. Okay? Nobody I admire more than civil servants. The word alone tells you what it is. Okay? You go in and you give service. Okay? In the US, when you're a civil servant, you're not very well paid. You know where you make money in the US? Is when you're in the private sector. And St.Maarten is the flip side. You're better off as a civil servant than working in the private sector. So guess what? Those people don't realize how lucky they are. Since Irma, not one civil servant went without a salary. Through Irma, through COVID. Same thing with government-owned companies. But private sector workers, you know much of them in my inbox?
Laid off.
I know people in my inbox that didn't vote for me. I know people that bash me on Facebook in my inbox crying to me now. Okay? So the point is, right, we have to do something for the population to understand this is not about slavery. It's not about black and white. It's not about decolonization. Okay? It's about surviving COVID. We have privilege to be attached to a country in Europe that's a small country, that is one of the most powerful countries in Europe, and that's small enough to actually pay attention to us. Okay? Because the way I see France pay attention to the French side is different. The way you see some US pay attention to their overseas Puerto Rican thing, it's different. Okay? Holland is small enough that they're willing to give. From the 550 million trust fund to the liquidity that we got after Irma up to now, we're talking another probably over 500 million, right? And liquidity support alone. And that's not counting the emergency funding, the vaccines. I have friends in Holland right now, right? I have 2 of them that got COVID. You know why? Because they can't get a vaccine yet. It ain't reached their turn yet. And these are people, one of the individuals is a person well placed. Okay? So, but we got it for free, and we got it that you could walk in. They didn't even do it in a such an ethical way to make people were going ahead of each other. Tourists were getting it left, right, and we still ain't going for the vaccine. Okay, and people up there suffering through COVID because they can't get it yet. You know, we have to come. I was raised that way. I was raised by older people. All of my surroundings have always been older people. One of my best friends that passed away last year was Nisio. I'm around older people, and I was raised, you don't bite the hand that feed you. Even if it's an enemy that you don't like. If that person extend their hand to you in a time of need, when you need it, right, squash that beef. Catch yourself first, you know, and if you want to go back to beef after, go back to beef. But always when you go back to that beef, start off your beef by saying, boy, I don't like Supana, but you know what, when the COVID was there, he helped me, right? But he's still a SOB. That's integrity. Right. Because you tell people he helped you, right? But you still feel a thing. But what are we doing? And the Prime Minister still goes insulting Knops in her answer recently. She calls him a demissionaire minister, state secretary. I'm hearing that he arrived yesterday on the airport, that nobody from the government went to receive him. Wow. If that's true, that's embarrassing. Because I'm a person, I understand negotiations, I come from from the private sector. I know what it is. The first thing you do, you're starting off at a table where you're fighting, okay? But you have to disarm the person. If we are so proud St.Maarteners and feel we control this island, we don't want the Dutch to control it, the first thing, don't leave no dignitary land on that airport and you don't have a Dutch representative to greet them. Because they need to be told how to act when they land in your country. So by your presence there, you can already have that. In her case, she's going to have to be meeting with them on Thursday. Why not defuse the bomb from
Monday, Tuesday?
From Sunday,
Oh.
when he arrived. Meet him at the airport, right? Give him a little walkthrough, discuss exactly what are you fighting about, the airport, right? And diffuse it. Diffuse it. Pretend like nothing happened.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, bring a little gift for him too. Bring a Johnny cake or something, something like that, and tell him, listen, remember, according to the law, this is not a gift.
This is not a gift,
This is below the thing. So
it's less than 500 guilders.
So what I've been saying since last year, and it's becoming evident now, many people don't like to give me the credit. But if you go back and read my post, you can see what I predicted comes. You can see the suggestions I made end up not being done, and end up costing them. No. One of the things I've been saying since last year is that the UP, when the Prime Minister disbanded the EOC, because in time of EOC, she is the only one in charge. No other minister have power. She deals directly with their Secretary General, the SGs, right? And none of them have a say. But can you imagine what I mean for ministers? They ain't got no say, and they seen all the negativity out there. And the coalition started to feel the pressure too. So eventually they pull it back from her. Right? Because technically, and I said that also, COVID should never have gone in an EOC thing. I asked her to call a state of emergency because the state of emergency allows her to take actions without the whole national decrees and all of that. So she could close her business, right, based on that emergency status. She doesn't have to go write up a national decree like you see them all the time having to do. All of that. No. That was my idea. But ideally, the COVID situation in other countries is handled by the health minister because it's a health issue, okay? So eventually it got back to where it needed to be, the health minister, which is a UP minister. When that happened, when she disbanded EOC, UP took control of that government completely. So two ministers, right, and a minority of MPs in a coalition took control of the Prime Minister and then everybody else. And of course, everybody in that the ministries also, every minister doing their own thing. So nobody took it personal because guess what? We don't want the government to fall. So everybody biting the lip, they ain't meeting, and it's like, you do what you got to do over there. You don't tell me nothing, I ain't going to tell you nothing. So in the meantime, everybody battling, Facebook for what Facebook exposing them with. But once UP took control, it was clear to me the Prime Minister now could no longer make decisions, right, that are right for the country. And she has proven it. She's been continuously torn between clubs and the UP party. Okay? And of course, Facebook government ain't helping, exposing her and making her accountable. Chrissy, her former MP from NA, not holding her accountable. Misleading people as he was misleading when we won power, misleading people about her now. Okay? And she now started to say it, and your boy Arian started to say it too about misinformation. But that's what we were telling the people. But now they flip-flop and they saying the same because they're living it now.
You see the conflict between him and the current Minister of Romy and everything. And it's just...
Go back and look for the post. I told her very early on when Christopher didn't sign a coalition agreement, I said, Prime Minister, you and your board, right, need to deal with that. Because if you don't sign it, you going from that party. You go independent partner. He stayed there for must be 6 months, maybe longer than 6 months, undermining her while he in the party, and nobody ain't saying nothing. Board ain't saying nothing. Nobody. And then partner leave the party, and what you on them? I leave NA because NA ain't serving the people no more. That was really the reason. That ain't the reason. Did they challenge it? Never challenge it.
Right.
Okay. So all of these things I documented. Super documented. It's there. Okay. It's written. So that's why I called for higher supervision, because these people are not going to stop. They proved to me since last year, they had 3-4 times that they could have stopped. Okay? The last time they could have stopped was in December 22nd, right? When she finally signed the agreement, because they were not going to get the money without it, and she flip-flopped as I predicted, and she signed it. Okay? That was the time for them to stop. Because what a lot of people don't understand, Super, what she signed was a 2-page agreement that I posted also, basically saying that you as a government agree to work with my initiative law, right, to basically create an entity that's going to help you manage the lands packet, the country packages. That's going to be the modus operandi, the body to give you money, give you technical assistance and all that. Okay? Now, Knops and them decided to do it via the Coho. So the agreeing to that, I said it since July last year when they first got the first whiff of this Dutch entity, when it was called a CRE, and everybody went crazy. Oh, it's going to kill our autonomy. I said, listen, why are you worried about that? The man can't pass no law without it coming to your parliament. The law is going to take a year. Okay? What the agreement, 2-page agreement telling you clearly is you can break the agreement at any time. Anytime you change your mind, right? You just notify and the agreement is void. Okay? So why you upset? If this going to make you continue getting money, take it. No, the law going to take a year and a half. Okay? Look what happened over there with the election. That make the law now going to have to take even longer. So all that time, just like Aruba, okay, because Aruba's doing that, right? All that time, you negotiate, you work behind the scenes, but you take the money. You don't fight them publicly because they're going to have to give you, once you sign, he has to give you money until. If you get a hurricane, he have to help you. Everything going on with COVID, he have to help you, right? Until the law reach parliament. And then when it reach parliament, then it's a day of reckoning. If you don't pass the law, then now he can say a stopping. Okay, but by that time
you already have
but by that time also you get vaccinated with a colonizer vaccine, right? America vaccinated, tourists starting to come back as we are seeing, right? St.Maarten cured COVID. I don't know if I heard that, but COVID is cured in St.Maarten. I'm surprised with all of the Indian population we have that they didn't transport the cure to India, you know, because everywhere in the world have deaths from COVID and all that. I'm happy we don't have deaths, right? But our numbers don't even go up. They don't even go up. Okay? So I'm happy for those things. But that means now you could not focus on the health anymore because that's, let's say, under control. But the financial side, don't fight. Don't fight. Take the money because it's the only hand. People ask, yeah, but you stop us from taking a bond. That bond would carry us for 2-3 months. And they would have to start over again. Who gonna keep giving you bond? And listen to the worst about it. This is where the population don't understand. But when you fight one of the most powerful countries in the world, right, on financial things, and you have IMF reports, Diamond reports against you, you have CFT report, Diamond reports against you. These are well-known economists in the world. Okay, these are people that are respected. These are people that central banks, bankers, all them looking at, investors looking at. Okay, and guess what? You may get away with a first bond, right? But you ain't gonna get no money after that. And how is it possible that you're gonna expect to get a bond when the same William Marlin and the older politicians agreed to a reg sweat, a kingdom consensus law called the CFT, which pretty much tells you you cannot get a loan without permission from the Dutch.
True.
I can't unchange it. I'm dealing with those rules. So which means I factor in that. Okay? My only source is the Dutch. So I'm not going to fight my only source. And guess what? Is it responsible for the Dutch to let us go and lend let's even call it 100 million at 6% interest, right? When they're willing to give us more at 0% interest?
0% true.
Is that responsible? Because when they fail now and they can't pay back the bond, you know where they go get liquidity from? Holland. You know where Aruba happy? In Papiamento, you sweep Papiamento. Aruba, Ahala Rosea. Okay? COVID turned out to have a silver lining for Aruba. Okay? Financially. Because they were not under that CFT law and they have 5 billion in debt. So what they have managed to do is start to use the Dutch liquidity to stabilize their financing, to make a plan, and now the Dutch is going to help them get over that. So they get into, and guess what? In Aruba, you know what they're saying about St.Maarten, No, it's not by Siginang. We ain't going to follow them. Okay? We're going to continue our
But
negotiations.
we wasn't holding hands a couple of months ago, decolonization.
All lies. Never. Aruba, and I travel with Arubians. I am, let's say, half Arubian because my father born in Aruba. I got family in Aruba. Arubans don't play that pattern. Arubans, they are very confident. When we traveled all over, you could see that Aruba was always the most prepared, the most research, the most teamwork. Then you had Kyoso behind being the most after in preparation. No teamwork really thing. And then St.Maarten really not prepared and no teamwork.
Yeah, true.
So that's basically how it's boiled down. So Aruba is going to do their own thing for Aruba. And they're not going to go and meddle in no decolonization nonsense right now because they're going to worry about that after. And even when they do that, they're going to do it their way. And I can tell you, if they make up their mind to go that route, they're going to succeed. They're going to succeed. So what I say is has empirical evidence. There's proof out there that it can be done different. If no other island was doing it different, right, I would say, boy, Chacho, you talking nonsense.
Right.
But Aruba is not fighting and they're getting money, but they're not giving in to the Dutch either. They're negotiating.
Right.
You let your technical team negotiate, right? When you come to speak, you measure your words, right? When you got to go a little hard on your words, you go hard on your words. Crump's going to do his thing, you do his thing. Then your technical teams come back and you move on. You win some, you lose some. Okay? But that's negotiation. But what we want to do is we want to insult
And win everything.
We want free money, right? People in this population are actually telling me that Holland owe us money. Now, I know in the private sector, when you say somebody owe you money, right, you better have it written down somewhere. You better have a voice note. You better have an invoice. You better have a contract, something. I am asking for that contract. I can't see it.
Well, people are saying, they owe us money because of slavery and reparations.
No,
and
I want to go with that too. So, because like I posted also, I want to know where to collect that check. Because right now, even I'm unemployed, I could really use that check right now. You understand? And I want to know. But my thing is, for you to get reparations, the first thing, you have to get the Dutch to sit at the table. They have to agree that they actually owe you something. Then it have to be put on paper. And then they're going to discuss the terms on how it's going to be paid out.
And disbursed and everything.
So you can't start to tell the people and playing on the people's emotions, because as I said on many shows, there's some words in our lives, all of us, that make us very emotional. Freedom, emancipation, slavery, okay? Those words make us emotional. All of us are inherently want to be independent. It is part of your natural instinct as from a baby. Okay, as you see children start to grow, you notice like my he gonna be 4 years in June, right? My little son, he too want to hold my hand like before no more.
Right, do everything
now
on
I'm
his
feeling
own.
a little pulling with him when a thing, and I got to really jock him up to understand you ain't reach here yet.
Right.
So take it easy, okay? But that's a natural thing. I can't break it from him either, because that's his independence. I need to learn to let him do his little thing, get a little fall here and there. So it's a natural thing to want to be independent. But you should also be able to match your education
To your independence.
and your financial reality to your independence.
True.
In that order. Okay? So if a population is not educationally independent, right? They shouldn't even think about independence. Much less if they're not financially. Because if you're educationally, you can figure out the finances. But if you don't have the education, it's a problem. I was raised to be independent. I've lived most of my life independently. I work in the private sector, but everything I did in my life, there was always a spark from somewhere that sparked the things that I did. So I wanted people to understand this is not about Chacho. It's not about the prime minister. It's not about the politicians. It's about you. Okay? And if you can't take 10 minutes, you know what I'm going to try to do? And I thought about it yesterday. I just make very long posts. But I got too long. I know Rama don't read them. But that's why I started to put pictures with them. because when you do a long post, Facebook the shorten it. So 2 things that I do. You have a title. The title is draw them in.
Yeah, of course.
And then I just go on the gifts.
Oh, the
GIFs,
right?
And either screenshot it. Or I don't put a video from the GIF usually because when you share the document, it will only share the GIF.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
right.
I just do screenshots, right? And then I go add in a word on it or make it my tailor, edit it to my thing. But why? Because I know people like Rama,
We
when he
read
see
the
the
whole
GIF
thing.
or the screenshot, he gonna want to go see what inside.
Inside,
you
right.
understand? So I might catch him.
And it's
Between
always-
when he begging the prime minister for carnival, right? and then I might catch him in between at those times. He might read the whole thing. Okay?
I
No.
always click see more in my defense. I always click see how
You
long
don't read it though, but you go see at least how long it is.
Yeah.
But that's progress. That's progress. No. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to do like some of the websites where the online newspapers just tell you it's gonna take 10 minutes for you to read.
Oh,
True.
yeah.
A 10-minute
Okay,
read.
you know. Now I gotta say something on your show again, which your millennials in Parliament try to use against me, right? But I'm not a person that love to read. I read because I have to read and get the information. I do my research and things like that. But you ain't gonna find me reading no. What it says?
Unholy scriptures.
Holy scriptures, things like that. I'm going into all of that.
Right.
You understand what I mean? But what? Yes. I will do is I will read it and see how long I take because I'm not a fast reader. So I think Roma should be able to be that time. Okay, and then we take it from there. So that might make people say, man, let me take the 15 minutes and let me
Put
read
it next to the
you know?
title so that people could see it from the
Yeah,
jump.
I'm gonna put it on top in
Yeah.
brackets.
Yeah, put
this
it in
will take
20,
you 15
15
minutes.
minutes.
I want to ask you a question about
Right.
your letter. You mentioned it today here. You talked a lot about outside handlers about when it comes to the airport because the airport is such a disaster right now. Who are some of the outside handlers and what do the outside handlers want? Is it concessions? Is it what is it that they want that they're sabotaging the airport and us in general?
Well,
Who are they?
I'm going to repeat again, right? What I've said over and over. If you go back in the tapes, right, during the last election campaign, you'll hear some of the names. I'm not going to say some of the names now because it's not needed. You understand? And I'm looking at you, and what I'm focusing on is your bald head now.
Wow.
Because I made a bet
Oh, yeah,
if
you
government fall and we go back to election, I have to bald my head.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to visualize how my head gonna look. My head bigger than yours. But to answer who's outside handlers with the airport is the same people that were sabotaging from within when I was in a UD coalition. Okay, the same people that were manipulating the former minister of Tiat. Okay, and the former minister of Tiat was
Which minister? Stewart?
yeah, was collaborating actually with the director of the holding. Okay, and the same sabotage started back then, and the same fight to fire the CEO, right? It continued. It never stopped, and it goes back to some of the things you just mentioned is concessions. There's talks of potentially a hotel. Airport hotel. There's the FBO building, which
Why the FBO building? Why are they fighting over the FBO building?
let me explain you what happened with the FBO building. As you know, you should know that industry a bit. FBO building is forward base operations or something like that. That's the building that handles private jets. So that's where private jets people go through. They don't go through regular like us. They go through that. They get VIP service. So usually a nice FBO building will have VIP lounge and all those kind of things. Okay. Ours that we have right now is the one that you see right there after the airport.
After the
That
airport.
small little building.
Yeah.
So it's really not adequate for the amount of jets that we have year round. So that has been a project that's been on the books probably since 2012. Okay, they actually got, I believe, money in the first loan that we're still paying back now, right? To do that. Why it never happened? That's why I want a forensic audit. Where did the money go? All right. Now, eventually, the operators of the FBO, and I forget some of the names, but they agreed pretty much to build it. And they were going to build a building, I think, for like 2.5 million. Okay? But the documentation that I saw as MP, right, is I saw a resolution by the then board, right, that was not put in place by our government. I saw the resolution for almost 7 million. And it was awarded to a local contractor in an invited bid.
So the price went up.
Not went up, it almost tripled.
Tripled.
Yeah.
You understand? And what happens, what people don't understand, and I explained that yesterday on the radio, if I understand what an invited bid is you invite the people that you want to bid. So if you want to do get kickback and make sure your company get in because you won't get your money from it. You do an invited bid, okay, and then you get bid from 4 people, right? But how do I know you in the company, right, who handling those bids? How I know that you didn't show my bid to Super? You understand?
Right.
And then tell me, well, you know,
Shave off here, add on
shave
there.
off there, add on there, or thing, you know. And then what they usually do, the system, they even did it with the garbage contracts and the dump contract, is what they would do, since they have an inside man and they know your price is 100,000, right, for you to do the job right, for you to finish, pay your workers well, and you make money, 100,000, they will come in at 70 or 60. So on paper now, they will say Super had the lowest bid. That's why he got it. Not because he's my friend, not because he's from my political party or he affiliated, not because of the rumors you're hearing out there, because of his price. But guess what? They'll get a little hoopla in the community. Everybody gonna talk about it, right? But legally it's done. Because nothing is illegal to do an invited bid. Okay? It's a little unethical for a government-owned company because that's public property, right? But once that finish and you get over the hump of the media, the little talk and Facebook government hitting you, when that fuel fizzles down, right, and you invite G-Money to the inauguration, the opening, nobody thinking about that no more. Everybody seeing the nice part about it. But guess what? By the end of the project, that 60,000 becomes 400,000. Then the 100, but now nobody saw the final price, and nobody talking because everybody get a little touch, and those that ain't get no touch, that see, right, they ain't gonna open them out because they don't want to lose their job, they don't want to get victimized, they don't want things. So that is why I say, and those are the things I was gonna bring as a member of parliament. No government-owned company can do invited bids. They have to do a bid, public bid, open bid, just like it's supposed to be done in government. A sealed bid by a date, right? You go by the notary, you go by anything, it is witnessed that it's sealed, the envelope wasn't tampered with, and all of that, and everybody open at the same time. Okay? That's how it's supposed to be. Because guess what? I've been in the private sector, I've been in the construction industry, right? And I never get invited in none of those bids. Never. Okay? Never. Not even if I find out that they're doing a project and I try to inquire how I could, maybe bid on it or something like that. Never. Okay? But why? Because you ain't getting no kickback from me. You're not getting no kickback from me. The most I would do with my company is if Super brought me a job, right?
Give him an
Super,
incentive.
I give him a commission. You know what I mean? But Super can't come tell me he want 25%, and my profit on the job is 10%. So if I give Super 25, I can't finish G-Money job, and that's what happens in this in this community. But we choose to overlook it. People don't take it personal because it's not their money. It doesn't touch them directly. It doesn't think. But remember, every time you fleece those government-owned companies, when COVID hit now, you don't got no money. All of those companies were supposed to have 100 million in reserves.
GB.
So if you had 100 million in reserve in all those companies, right, you could at least have 200 million from all of them together, and that would have prolonged when you need to sit on the table with the Dutch. You understand? But we don't have it because the same people who fight in the Dutch, they fleece the companies. They fleece the companies. Nobody takes it personal. Everybody's worried now about our community, and I can say it works in my favor also, to be honest. But our community is, they latch on to very simple things, and they don't try to reason it. So Christopher on the floor of Parliament says that the CEO buy a steak for $3,300 and
Which
something.
CEO, Mr. Mingo?
Mingo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a piece of steak, like a lamb.
But that's how it came out. That's how he said it. That's how he said.
Okay.
The only steak I could think on that is the one that I called Kobe. I think
Kobe
I never had it, but I see a lot of YouTube videos with it. It thing. No. A person like me, I go to question further because who buys a piece of steak for that amount of money? Who goes to a restaurant by themselves or with 2 people and spend that kind of money? Okay, because as a CEO, your expenses are going to have to be vetted by the board. Okay, so somebody, even if everybody down there and doing things, somebody gonna say, listen, what you doing there, partner? That ain't wrong, and you gonna bust this whole thing for us, right? So when they go find out further, you go research. It was actually a trip that happened with the former Minister of Finance, with his delegation, with the airport delegation, going to New York, your town, to go meet with the bondholders. Bondholders, by the way, that hold the money from the insurance because they didn't trust the management and what was going on at the airport before Mingo got there, right? They didn't trust what was going on. They didn't want to lose their money, so they grab on because there was no concrete plan, okay? They hold the money. You know when the bondholders came back to the table with us? They refused to meet with the government. You know when? When the Dutch got involved. Because now they felt, hey, this is a
Some
big player now,
security.
and if they're willing to get involved and guarantee certain things, then my money's safe, okay? So when they met in that meeting, there was surely Dutch representative to probably World Bank and the bondholders. After that meeting, apparently the airport decided to invite them to dinner. And it was probably between 20 and 30 people. So when you have dinner in New York with 20, 30 people, 3,000 something ain't bad. And if that is what you're going to pay, right, to not look like a beggar to the bondholder and to not look like you're nothing, I could live with that.
could justify
I
that.
could live with that.
You got to wine and dine.
But why would you put out information like that, right? And you're saying you have the receipt, but as you know, a credit card bill normally they say 3,000 something, right? If you have the proof of it, it's going to tell you how many people.
Right.
It's going to tell you how many people. So why would you not say how many people? You know why? Because if you say how many people, you can't grandstand with it anymore. Okay? Now, I could tell you for a fact, right? All the government-owned companies, for all the years, these CEOs, CFOs, and all of them, right? They've been living la vida loca, whether we like it or not. I preach to stop it. I'm not there to defend Mingo because I told Mingo from even when I was MP, right? We're going to clean up that airport. So if you going to put yourself in stupidness, the cleanup going to come on you too. And if it come on you and there's grounds to fire you, then sayonara, partner. And if you stop talking to me, that's your business too. Okay? I want these companies sanitized. That's my company. That's all your company.
Right.
Okay? Not only the workers' company and the politicians' company. It's our company.
It's our bread and butter.
Now, when you fleece a company like GB or the airport and all that, guess what? Do you know how much you're paying your ticket? You ever look at your ticket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
the thing
time.
is $100 and you got $300 is taxes and airport fees and things like that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You know how you could lower those things? Stop fleecing the airport. Because when the airport realized they could make money, right, from other things, private jets and all kind of things, they could lower the taxes, the fees that they're charging, so our tickets could go down. Then we could travel more. Roma could go Carnival, other places when we don't have Carnival. You know, I mean, these are things that benefits the livelihood of people. That's why I got involved in politics, to fix those things.
Now-
I got involved in politics to make the government apparatus stronger. All the years of hiring people, right? And I'm not blaming those people because everybody wants a job. But when you're in a job and you can't do the work,
job.
right? Eventually you end up hurting yourself and you end up hurting the country. So what I say is get those people trained, get them upgraded, put them in a job where maybe they want to do, right? And you know what? Who better to help you with that than the Dutch? Let the Dutch government and your government work with the University of St.Maarten, with a university in Holland, do training program here for the employees, send away some of those that want to go away now and get a degree to the university in Holland, give them stage trainings in the government and ministries in Holland, and when they come back, guess what? They come back proud, they come back knowing their job, and then they can give us the services we deserve. That's what I want for my country. I want a better life. And the only way we get a better life, whether we like it or not, is that government needs to become more efficient, needs to be less costly, and the government-owned companies need to be able to start paying their concessions properly and also be able to give better services and better price services to the population.
Now we keep hearing about the goalposts being moved when it comes to the Dutch and St. Maarten. What do you think about that?
I think you remember the meme I put up about that, right? Because there's a meme where you see the people moving the goalposts every time.
Yeah.
It is one of the most cliche things to say right now, and it is, to be honest with you, it is BS. All right? Because while it seems so sometimes when you don't know the evidence, when you don't read all the documents, but a lot of people need to understand, and I'm going to post it up this week, okay? The country package that she signed in December, she agreed. Right now, let me start first. When she signed January last year with the World Bank, which a picture I post up with her, Arian, and Mingo, with the lady from the World Bank and all of that in Washington, D.C.
In Washington, sorry.
Okay? Part of that loan, right, that trust fund, 72 million. One of the conditions that came with that is the Dutch CFO right? That we negotiated also to make sure I have a counterpart that came from our government. The 2 board members, right? Dutch board members, that one on the operational, one on the holding, right? And the involvement of Schiphol, right? To oversee the construction, to assist with that, okay? Without Schiphol, without Dutch CFO, without the two Dutch things,
counterpart,
no money. Okay, so she signed that. She flip-flop, she signed it. Not only she signed it, she took credit for it and she ran with it. Okay, that's even worse, because flip-flopping but taking credit is even worse. She did that. So why would you months later continue allow it to be sabotage? It got to the point right now where in December 22nd, when she signed out the agreement for the lands packet, right, which is the country packages, one of the things in the country package is reforms at the airport. Because when we were there, we commissioned a good governance assessment was done by the World Bank. That was part of also for us to get the money. What they did, they reviewed the corporate structure of the airport and they saw where the company is vulnerable to political influence, where there's potential conflicts, where they're not respecting the separation between the different bodies, and come up with an idea even of simplifying the structure. Because right now the holding company, right, they don't even got employees really. It's just a company.
A board.
It's just holding the assets. You understand? But there's really nothing there. No. One of the things that I have that report, I could have made it public, but I didn't do that because that is a document that needs to be handled behind the scene. But in that document, they're clearly telling you one of the areas of concern is the holding. The holding is susceptible to political influence. Okay? And then they list other things and give you ideas. No. What Knobs did, because the partner know us and he understand our modus operandi, and I think I contributed a lot, right, to painting that roadmap to the way that did us act. Okay, now what he did, he said, okay, the good governance things from that, the suggestions that have to come with that, a task force have to be set up to execute them. But that's not going to be done by the holding or the operational company. It has to be done by government as the owner of the company. So you the owner, you got to restructure those things. So that didn't have nothing to do with the 72 million, right? That had to do now with the liquidity support they get in. And the liquidity support now is based on the country packages. Every time they get new money, they have to do certain things to get that money. And one of the things that she was going to have to do now in May, right, is the airport stuff. So since she have to do that to get the money, right, down the line, right, like they play a fast one on him where they thought they would fool him this time, get the money, and then continue doing what they're doing at the airport until they need money again. He pulled a fast one on them. He said, no, you still have to fix the good governance. But since you ain't doing it, and I talk to you, I tell you don't fire the CEO because it's showing political meddling and all of those kind of things. She didn't do nothing about it. That's what he says in his letter. I've been saying it even before I read his letter because it was evident she wasn't doing anything about it. Guess what he do? He stopped the money. So what? That's for him, from his perspective, right? He get them this time. Because when you hear UP people on radio basically admitting, and I've caught them, right? I've caught the clips and I put it up on my Facebook, basically admitting that the only reason they signed and they agreed to the conditions because to get the money. That's not something to say. Because you're saying basically you're fooling the man. Because you ain't sincere about these conditions. So why would you say that publicly? You don't think he's listening? Yeah. Facebook government does be followed there. It be followed. Go all over. Somebody's always share, somebody's always thing. So the point is, once he figured it out, he catch them this time. That's what it is. They beat them all the other times.
And not no more.
This time he catch them. So now we have to see what he's going to do. So listen what he says in his letter now. He's sending it back now to the Kingdom Council of Ministers, right, for them to decide on it again, because they did decide on it. What she was supposed to do for that was the implementation agenda for the first quarter, right? That was finalized. he came out and said that the cohort helped her do it. She went in Parliament and praised how good she felt that she got this done ahead of time. She would sign it April 1st. So that was a done deal. But what happened? They playing the game now with a petition again. They kick back up in Parliament, start to talk decolonization again. They send the 3 laws to the ombudsman, right? Basically indicating now we ain't planning to do those cuts. We want ombudsman to cancel them. And that was a setup. I don't care what nobody tell me. They let it out of their own mouth on radio. Because how can UP members tell you ahead of time on a radio program that we passed those laws, right? But they ain't legal yet. Those laws ain't legal. And most likely to go by the ombudsman. And when the partner catch himself that he was saying too much, he look at the other individual and they stop. But I pick up on it. And then months later now, right? The ombudsman taking the laws. And let me give you a joke about it. Those laws, when they were written by the government, those are not Knopf's laws. Those are our government. Those are silly laws. Okay? And when she sent those things to Parliament, they had nothing in it speaking about sending the law to the ombudsman. That was added in after by the coalition. Okay? Because laws, right, could go to the ombudsman or not go to the ombudsman. Okay? But that was a plan. Act pass them, right? Send them to the ombudsman. They're going to kill time. While you're killing time, you can say, I ain't want to deal with the cuts because we're going to wait to see what the ombudsman going to say. But it still backfire on them. Because CFT look like they start to pressure Arian that they want to see the cuts in the budget. They want to see it reflected in the budget. So he had to now come force that amendment now, which they passed last week. So, long story short, the jig is up. They're not fooling anybody. And if the rumors are true, what we've been hearing since yesterday, they're not fooling each other no more.
And what are those rumors?
That right now NA is going to farm with which one that versions you want? Because there are many versions.
I want the.
I'll give you all.
Give me all.
The best. Oh, okay.
First version I heard was NA, USP, and Ludi. That's 8.
Ludi Independent.
Yes.
Okay.
Next version I heard was NA, USP, 2 members going independent.
Which 2? You're hearing?
That was Chris
It's
and
only
Hakeem.
2.
Oh, yeah.
Bon Campo and Hakeem.
Okay.
Going independent and Ludi. Now, if that turns out to be the case, right, then we would have break history again. We would have taken a political system that exists in Holland for probably over 300 years and we turn it upside down again. Because that means USP as a party ceased to exist.
Yep.
Okay? Because they have no representation in Parliament anymore. And it also means that if MP Boncampo gets locked up, right, he can't pass the seat to nobody.
Wow.
Because he's by himself.
He's independent.
Oh, he's independent. Right.
So today, one of my task is to go do some research to find out what would happen in a situation like that. I'm going to research it in the Constitution. I'm going to find out if there's precedent to it to see things. No.
Is there another version too?
There's another one.
Okay.
Now, the other one that comes out now is NA, USP, Ludi, and
Chris.
Christopher.
That's highly unlikely, I think.
I think it's unlikely. Why? Because Christopher, and I said this even before because I knew we were going to reach this. I told people on WhatsApp that only way Chris goes to join with NA at this point, right, is Silvera has to go back to Parliament. So that he can use the excuse that he had a problem with the way she was a prime minister. But he don't have a problem with her as being an MP.
In Parliament.
I know there's flip-flopping. I know there's
So what happens if he gets Romy?
No, but that's what's going to happen because when she goes back to Parliament in that scenario, Doran then becomes Prime Minister and that frees up Romy for Chris. So Chris gets Romy, USP gets Viesa, which they had before, right? And Ludi gets to keep Tiat. Okay? I think like Super that it's unlikely. And the latest one I saw this morning, right?
Another one.
Yes, was NA, USP, Ludi, and UD.
Sarah.
Which would be seriously unlikely. I don't want to believe it yet, but anything is possible. But I sincerely hope that UD is not going to go down that line. Because what really they have demonstrated last year is that they are fundamentally opposed to everything that was done by this coalition and this government. So for them to do that, then unfortunately I would have to put them on a flip-flop list. And yeah, so right now, this is already again a new thing for me, guys, because as somebody love politics and love to predict and discuss and thing, I saw the signs that there's a lot of smoke and there's something going on.
And where there's
But what amazingly they have managed to do is, I can't get it confirmed from one of the
School children?
The school children. Because I have school children among them too.
I know you do.
Okay? So I can't get it from one of them. So what I think is backfiring on me now, right, is the fact that they know. They
know, yeah.
They're scared that I'm going to put it up.
Yeah.
Even though
if you put it up, they know where it comes from.
But even though what I tell people, and that's my integrity also, and I do it a lot, if you don't want me to go with something and you tell it to me, it's off the record.
To say off the record.
Okay?
Opposite.
And off the record for me means
Hopefully they listen to you.
including if I have to go in front of a judge, it's going to be off the record. You understand? It's going to be off the record.
Now, yesterday I heard you on another program stating that if the prime minister should resign if the pressure is too much, instead of this flip flopping. Why did you say that?
You know why I said that? You remember I resigned, right? I resigned because I made a promise that if the government had fall, I would give back the seat to the person that won the seat, which was the leader of the party. Okay, the leader of the party didn't force me to do that. He would have been fine just letting me be there. And in many ways, I think he know the party would have wanted him to go back. But personally, I think he would have been fine with leaving me there. Okay, I did the right thing because it had to be the right thing. Now, there's another option where I will resign. I will resign, and another option if I get elected in a party, and me and that party got beef, right? I'm not going to pull a Chrissy. Okay, I'm going to resign unless I earn that seat outright. Because if I get 1,000 votes for that seat, right, then the party didn't carry me there. Okay, so I will feel justified in that case to keep that seat. Now, there's a third option to resign, and you resign when, in the case, like say, of a minister, right? If you are being given documents by the Dutch that you are telling the population that is blackmail, that you're under duress, that you're under thing, right? The only time I may, and it's not even in my character to do that, I may the first time, right? I may sign the document for the population to get the money. That's the first time. And then I'm going to regret it, and I'm going to get nightmares to sleep with it. But I'm going to try my best to justify that it benefiting the people. But if you keep doing that with me, the next time, I'm going to tell you, I'm not signing it. I'm going to go and expose you to the world. I'm going to expose you to my parliament. I'm going to expose the thing, and I'm going to say, listen, I resign because my job as prime minister, I cannot go along with this with my conscience. If the country wants to go along with it, if the parliament wants to go along with it, it is their option. You understand? But me personally, I'm not going to do it. I will resign. I will show the population why, and I'll move on. Because you can never get so comfortable in that position that you're scared to resign. There's a movie with De Niro and Al Pacino. I think it named 30 Seconds or something like that. You remember in that movie he said, you don't do nothing that you can't walk away from within 30 seconds.
No, that is
you remember? Heat. You remember that?
Yes.
You remember that saying? Right? And basically that's how I approach those type of situations, because if not, you become hostage, right, to the things you sign. You can't defend them. You're going to end up flip-flopping because you're going to end up constantly fighting your decision that you made, and then it's just a nightmare. So at some point you need to say, listen, I'm not doing this anymore, right? I'm moving on, right? And in the case of the leader, right, somebody should give her back the seat. I mean, they have some people in there seriously sleeping on that party. I mean, just negotiate and go back to parliament. Let somebody else deal with it.
So who do you think should be prime minister?
Why you really?
I stumped Chacho. Really, whoa, write this down.
Really stump me. Let me take the answer that people ain't gonna like. We put knobs.
Knobs.
But seriously, because we are not a people that resign. We don't resign.
We don't resign.
We hold on. So, but let's just say it did happen. Who would you
Well,
think will be capable?
I have to look from
without outside handling.
I have to look at them. Well, there's none without outside handlers. So that's why I can't answer the question.
Okay.
But I think right now why she needs to resign is because she has done enough damage, right? That you need to replace her with a new face. Because whoever come to replace her, they can say, listen, I starting fresh. So I don't want to bring her baggage on the table.
Right.
Say Secretary Knopf, and I'm gonna start fresh with you. So from that basis alone, right, they should replace her. Okay. Yeah, I can't give it an answer. Honestly,
it's a hard question.
I can't give it an answer. You know, Samuel, make Samuel Prime Minister.
Free bread.
Samuel.
Free bread.
He said with
Look at your face.
No, but in any case, you know, guys, I am seriously concerned about St.Maarten because, like I said, one of the things that have me concerned also, and that since the FATF whole drama in Parliament and different things, we only have to deal with correspondent banking, okay? And we don't have no local banks. When Rhode Island Bank is not a local bank. No. While they make some decisions on car loans and things locally, right? The thing is still in Curacao.
Yeah, they got
okay?
it down there first.
Other banks is Barbados, Trinidad, and all of that. And what are these people seeing? They're seeing St.Maarten fighting the most powerful country and one of the most powerful in Europe. They're seeing IMF reports. They're seeing the liquidity support being undermined. They're seeing the economy being threatened, okay? And what you're going to start to see, I hope it's not going to happen, you're going to start to see those Barbados, Trinidad, and Canada and all of that, they're also facing pandemics, okay? You're going to see them saying, we can't do mortgage loans. We can't do business loans because the economy is too risky. Because you know that's how bankers work. They're being counters. So they put you on a risk, you understand? And they say, you know, I ain't giving them the money. You understand? Just because the risk factors and all of that. So those are the things that have me very concerned. I do have some hope because the vaccine really, I must say, should help the tourism build back up.
It's back.
Yeah.
I was at the airport Friday.
Yeah, it's back.
It is a zoo.
Yeah, Saturday.
The airports are a
Saturday
zoo.
they had a lot of flights also.
And they told me wait till Saturday, it's even worse.
Saturday I think had 18 flights, so that's very good.
And they said wait till June, there's more flights coming.
And we have the ships coming in.
Yeah,
we have this airport that looks like.
So, but people gonna come back, and I'm happy for that, and that's why I said, you know, I don't want a government to fall. I don't want a government.
Nobody
to fall.
wants a government.
I don't want government to fall because I said it and I have an opinion. Even the worst government, which I've upgraded them now, the worst government in the history of the kingdom, right? If they're there for 4 years, one thing is going to happen. The government apparatus, so those secretary generals, they will no longer have the excuse that I ain't get this done because the government falls.
True.
I had to deal with a new minister.
True.
No, you dealt with the same minister for 4 years. So why didn't you not happen? Why didn't that minister achieve anything? So we will be able to hold them accountable, not only the ministers, but hold the management of the government apparatus, right? Those levels, hold them accountable because people like to joke. You talk about a trias politica, right? But there's a fourth branch, which is a civil service. And we just joke among the politician thing. If the fourth branch don't want to move, nothing else moves. Okay? And it's the truth. And in a way, it should be that way because they are the really backbone of the government. You understand? And if the government apparatus is working, meaning, as I wrote an article one time, top-down approach, right? It's like an elevator. Starts from the top, the example, goes to the bottom, but the elevator needs to come back up in the same situation. So the example starts from the bottom, go up also. And everybody motivates each other along that line. And when that works well, right, you don't have breakdown of the elevator and everything can flow. And we all do well, you know, and the economy does well, you get tax relief, you get you know, relief that you could buy a house, that you could, you know, car sales gonna go up, you get better roads, you get, you know. This island, the most frustrating, disappointing thing is that although we have an issue with data, which is a major problem for us, to have good data to make sound decisions, because for the last 50 years, we're making decisions barely on luck, and barely on looking emotions, on some signs, something, and we've been extremely fortunate other one to start. You understand? But it starts with all of us, because I just get the blows, and I speaking out for a lot of people in my private message thing. But I'm telling people, guys, at some point speak out, because if enough of us speak out, guess what? The victimization stops. You can victimize Chacho by yourself, right? But if all 6 of us in here saying the same thing, it becomes harder to victimize all of us, because we become a force now. You understand? So, and that's what my ultimate goal is. I don't even worry anymore about getting back in Parliament, about worrying about those things. For the people who may want to know, I'll be open about it. I made up my mind that I would love to run one more time. Okay.
Which party?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
All right.
I don't know yet. It's not going to be an older party. I don't know if SMCP is going to come back. I don't know if it's going to be SMCP. Last night I was in a shower, taking a hot shower to get over the day, and what popping in my head is Mock. You remember Mock? Jacinta Mock.
Oh, Mock, yeah.
You have to pull a Mock.
Do something independent.
You have to pull a Mock. You know what I mean? I was thinking, if I could find somebody to run with me.
Why are you looking at Super for?
Because he's the person I want to pull with me.
Oh, I see. I see you looking at
for
him.
many reasons. A Super comes in perfect, Perfect. He comes in perfect. And a little more weight loss. we good to go.
We good to go. I can sit that Parliament chair comfortable.
So
Weight Watchers party.
I would consider maybe down the line, you never know, run a 2-man team where maybe me ahead and the person run with me. Something happens to me, they become the MP. Why not? It takes away a lot of the dynamics that I experience in St.Maarten politics, because we're really not to the level that we need to be for this parliamentary system. And I've told it to Super, I've told it to other people also, because I experienced it as SMCP. PFP right now went into they did extremely well. They went into an election with 8 candidates. But next election you can't go with 8 candidates. Okay? You have to go with a full list. Okay? Or at least 17 or thing. But the more people you put on that list,
the better your chances.
The more you have egos, the more you have possibility of infiltration of handlers, the more you have those type of things. So it becomes harder to manage. So the bigger you get, the more stress you have. The more elections you run, right, and you get rewarded, right, the next time,
everybody want peace.
Okay, so those are the type of things that really make me hate the game. I love politics. I would work night and day for my country. I do it freely now. So as MP, all they did was pay me the salary to do it. But that's what I did. I lived it night and day, and I will continue to doing that as long as I have health. I would love the opportunity again, like I say, to go back there. Maybe one day be a minister. Who knows? To see the other side of it from there. But that's just my personal, one of those,
fantasies.
Put you on a goal board.
Oh yeah, your vision board.
Like that in my head, But ultimately, no matter what, the people can depend on me to be engaged and continue speaking out.
Do you think there's something as being too transparent? Because we've been hearing that, we don't have enough transparency in St.Maarten, but now it's becoming too transparent. We're just leaking everything, putting everything out there.
I agree that documents leaking, right, it's a problem. It was a problem with us, it's a problem with them. Okay? So I can't say it was wrong with us and it's right with them. It's not. I always toe the line very, very thin. Okay? You don't necessarily see me leaking internal documents of the company or with necessarily, if I put a document that involves like a civil servant name, like the Prime Minister lied and accused me that I put out the document from the Minister of Education when he had the whole issue with replacing the civil servant and all that. She accused me of putting out a document with the civil servant names. I didn't. I black out the names. Okay? And then the Herald put it out with everybody names and with the whole story and things. So I am very conscious of that, but right now I'm challenged between letting them lie to the people, having the information, and not telling the people they are lying to you. So what, to answer your question, Super, when we clean up, when we learn to do the right thing without being forced to do it, okay? Because when I joined the UD, guys, you know what I preach? when the government, we working on government program, I say, guys, and this nobody can deny, but I have a backup in WhatsApp. That's another thing. You know what was amazing? I just have conversations with politicians, right? When I was in the coalition and we having a WhatsApp conversation. I type in paragraphs, like I just type on thing, and you give me 1-word answer, 2-word answer.
Okay.
So it's like you, it's like you're afraid now that I may reveal that information or say use your word or thing. Then I type in and then you calling me.
Yeah. They want no evidence.
But remember, it's not about that. I am not going to go put out personal conversation between me and thing. But it's I have to protect myself. I need to be on the record saying what I'm saying. Because if you do start to lie about me, I'm going to call you and say you either rectify it or give out the evidence. Now, one of the things that I said from day one, let's clean up. Right? Let's reform. Let's clean up government-owned companies. Let's reform before clubs come and do it for us. Let's cut our salaries before clubs come and tell us to cut. In March last year, March 27, I posted it yesterday again. I wrote a post. And everything I have in that post is now in the country package. I suggested to the government to do a cut for civil servants between 5 and 10% on a sliding scale from the highest civil servant go down. So lower civil servants don't get touched. Okay? Those that are on lower scale maybe get 5%. Those that all the way to the bottom don't get nothing. Right? They didn't do nothing. What comes to? He put 12.5%. But if you had cut already,
right,
when you go to the table now and he chose 12.5%, you say, hold up here, partner. I cut already. This is why I do this, the headache I went through. You ain't gonna make me cut more. You understand? But they never got the opportunity to do that negotiation. They could have, the first thing I would have done is cut my salary. It was a condition already when we were there. I did it voluntarily before clubs tell me to do it. I made sure do it. But you know it coming back. COVID coming now. You know he bringing it back. It's still a condition on paper. So why not do it before he tell you? Now guess what? They have never cut their salary yet, the ministers. MPs I think cut must be close to 10% or whatever. So what going on? But yet you go to parliament and everybody grandstand and they get likes and don't listen to Chacho this, Chacho that. Listen, I back up everything I say. And if I happen to say something that is incorrect and you prove to me, right, that what I said was incorrect, I will correct myself. I will go and say, listen, this was said, right, and it was nothing. It was not, I didn't have enough information, I made a wrong statement, and I go with it from there. But the grandstanding is destroying us. You know, they're destroying us. And that's why I'm gonna give the PFP some credit for that, is that they have not engaged in that. Okay? But at the same time, until our population learn to reject it and learn to be manipulated politically, right, then there's the grandstanding they want.
Well, what do you think opposition should do more of? Because you say, UD and PFP, they're doing a pretty okay job, but I see you are also...
And the two independent members.
And I see you also questioning them as well, like saying, listen, we want this. Facebook government wants you to call this one to Parliament or do this. What do you think?
Well, in Parliament, you have two things you do as an MP. You're constantly, if you're an ethical MP, you're constantly thinking in two lines. What's politically good for me and what's the right thing to do. Okay? The best decision you get sometime to do is when you can align both of them. When doing the right thing, it is also right for you politically. And they don't always match up, because I've done a lot of right things and they were twisted politically on me and made me look very bad. Okay? That happened to me when I was MP. Okay? So, and in the case of USP, PFP and UD, which are the three that I still, because you need three to call a meeting. You need three to to sign on to a motion for it to be handled. Things like that. So they I hope that they could work together from that perspective. Now, one of the things, for instance, that I call for, right, is I feel the Prime Minister should get a motion read against her already, a motion of no confidence. It would not pass, right? But it would send a statement. It send a statement. Because guess what that statement would make is all who voted against right? Remember, politicians
Are
flip-flop
accountable.
all the time.
Are accountable.
So you on record now, holding the Prime Minister accountable. Those people voted against it, right? And then you will have out of the 12 that vote against, right? Oh no, Christopher would have voted for. So the 11 that vote against, Gabon Campo would keep it there. The 11 that vote against, out of them, right, you might end up with 5 or 6 after that actually flip-flop and vote to fire her
Right.
in a different circumstances. So politically, that will make you look good. You understand? So those are the things you have to navigate and think. But I think calling more meetings is important. I think holding them accountable is very much important. And one of the things that I definitely learned from my experience, right, is if I was ever going to be part of a government coalition or not, right, is that you really need to be less maybe quiet sometimes, right, and push more harsh for certain things to play out. Okay? Because if a minister ain't cooperating with you, you gotta push harder from things. Now, if you're in opposition, it's a lot easier because you don't have the responsibility. You could give them good ideas, vote for them when they do good, and then you could point out things. But one of the things that I feel should never happen, and that's what I see happening with some people in opposition, you should never mislead the population and misinform the population no matter what. Okay? It's not about throwing on the government. Can never be. And in the case of this government, they're doing already so many things for you to hold them accountable for. You don't need to mislead information. So I would hope that PFE and them will over time position themselves. I think they needed definitely that first year because like I say, your freshman year, you're really figuring out the dynamics, who's who and all that. So I surely expect to see more from them. They have definitely demonstrated that they deserve a place there. I think they're well representing the generation as well. So they give me the hope for the generation in many ways. And so far as what they're going to achieve from opposition, I don't think they'll achieve much.
So now a question. So let's say, for example, 2024 reaches, you get a new or different feeling instead of running, you could endorse somebody. You endorse the individual, a party, whatever. Would you then endorse people to then sway to PFP, seeing that how they have a chance to make the change are you looking for?
But why you putting words in my mouth? No, I never said PFP doing the change that people want.
No.
I never said that.
You said
I never
if
said
by
that.
then.
No, I said thing. But what I am saying with PFP, I've seen good signs. Okay? I've seen good signs. And when I look at all other parties, right, I can tell you, I can see the difference already. So that's a good sign for me. But we got more road to go. Just like I wanted 4 years to show what I was about, I hope they get 4 years too to show what they're about. So I gonna pronounce in 2024. But whether I run or not, if I run, I'm gonna hopefully support myself. But if I don't run, right, the way that I'm vocal out there now, I can't be one of those now just
pushing
sit back and say no. But I can't just sit back neither and say, boy, you just pick. That's not my character. You understand? Now, if I find somebody that I can really believe in, because that's the next problem, you put your trust in people and they tell you what they want to tell you to get that support, but when they get in there now, they think. So whoever I support, it's going to be handled like an agreement. Okay? So we gonna agree to why I support you and what you thinking. And if you break that and you don't come back to the table, let us discuss it and explain why you're breaking it, then I gonna have to go and pull my support.
True.
And I gotta explain why I pull my support too.
You're outside handler then.
Got him.
That's a very good statement. But the agreement could be transparent because I got to talk about it. I got to say why I support it.
Transparent outside handler.
No, but transparency that make a lot of things different, right? I'll give you an example. You all know him, Pastor Smith's son.
Right.
Dylan.
Dylan was selected by the now MP Jorien in Holland to be on the Monument Council.
Right.
That happened way before Pastor became thing. Exactly during Pastor time, finally it reached the stage now of the actual putting in place of him. Okay. But he was selected. He was chosen. Good. But it's a conflict of interest. All right? What did Pastor do? He came to Parliament. He first of all recused himself in the COM from the decision. Okay? The COM didn't have a problem with it. Okay? Because it was something that was decided before thing. Right? He brought it to Parliament. He told the members of Parliament, this is my son. Right? This is a history how it went down. Right? I leave it to all you to say whether or you feel comfortable with it or not. And then after he asked that, he even went further. Then he said, listen, no, you're not going to be on the monument thing. So he could have told him that from the beginning, but you have to play it out. Play it out, right? And then you still tell. So Dylan didn't go. And that was the right thing to do. It may not be the right thing for the Monument Council, because knowing Dylan, I think Dylan would have been a great asset and that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, people always tell me, you know, but if you get hired and your best friend could
do the job,
could be in your cabinet, well, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. My best friend gonna have to prove that he's the GOAT. And he gonna have to prove it to me. He already have to have that reputation out there, so that when I now disclose that me and he are best friends, but this is what he brings to the table and thing, he gonna have to show up. And guess what? I gonna hold him more accountable than any other cabinet member.
And you might not be friends afterwards.
Exactly, because the first mess up he got, he's gonna be gone. You understand? So there's ways to deal with it. You know, these things are not new to me. I was raised in that environment. There's ethics is something you learn in school. You understand? You learn ethics in school. You learn about integrity, how to not cross the line, what is acceptable, what's not acceptable. There's laws to protect those things, but we seem to be willing to ignore all. You know.
Now, is our Minister Artwell Irian made the comment, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, that you know, ministers should be held accountable for the decisions that they made. And someone just sent a question saying that can Parliament also hold the government accountable for all the damages caused, you know, based on recent decisions, whatever?
I can't reach a bell. Can you hear the bell? More than that. Okay. When I saw that article, I didn't see the press briefing, but when I saw that article, I was like, Eureka moment. Because in our government program, in our manifesto, right, we had that in it. I always said that, even before on Facebook. As long as you don't hold a minister accountable, and I used to say, as long as a minister don't get locked up, right, other ministers gonna come in and gonna continue being handled, and they're gonna make decisions, knowing the fact that when the other ministers come in, right, they're not gonna expose what's there, because they're now starting to do their own hustle. That's what's been happening since 10. When we came in, right, we took over from the NADP and USP, I think, right?
Is red, white, and blue.
Yeah, right. Between that, there was an interim government with the UD, with Sarah, MP Sarah, and Brown Bill.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
After the election, it became UD SMCP. When I come in, right, I wanted to hold all ministers from before accountable, all, including the interim ministers that were just there. Okay, so if in those months you had time to go do something, well, I'm sorry. Okay, I can't be accountable for that. No. Guess what happens, right? The older politicians don't like that.
Hate it.
They don't like that. Okay, and I was in a coalition with older politicians. So my strategy became, no, I'm gonna keep pushing for it. I'm gonna keep doing it. Right? I'm gonna keep insisting, right? And guess what? We started the process, because at a certain point, the Prime Minister, Leona Romeo Marlin, she got to a position where she decided, listen, I need to do what's right for the country. I cannot only think what's right for the party or the coalition. Okay? So it was gonna happen, right? We saw it happen with Miklos and with the common general, with Christopher, his land given out and all of that. It was sent for review. Okay, and that was done. But there was a lot more things left behind by that government, right, that we wanted to send forward. Okay, my idea was to go to also the integrity chamber. That was discussed, right? Because where do you go with it? Okay, some of it is not necessarily illegal things, but some of it is lack of integrity. Some of it is things that smell bad, things. So,
give me an example.
The giving out of the land.
Give me another example.
The awarding of the adjuster after Irma. Okay, the way that was handled. Okay, because when we came in, right, the Prime Minister Leona, right, she didn't reverse the decision. She decided to go with another adjuster because that adjuster that William chose didn't even have a finalized contract and a decree. And when you reviewed it and you saw the advices and the documents related to that, as Prime Minister, I wasn't going to touch that. Not with a 20-foot pole. Okay? So the $100,000 guilder advance that was given and all of that when William was already a fired minister, okay, demissionaire. Those are not good things. But we can't send that to the integrity chamber because the integrity chamber wasn't up and running. Okay, but those are decisions, like I say, politicians don't naturally want to do, right? Because it creates a hoopla, and it creates now you're basically targeting your colleague. And politicians always, they say politicians make strange bedfellows. That's why I tell people I don't like those words. I can't go in bed with nobody. I'm going to bed with nobody. So we ain't going to be no shared bedfellows. Okay? But that's a hard position to keep. You understand? But you can maintain it if you never get involved in that. But when you have a background already, you were there before. Because guess what? I don't have a problem, when Arian brought it up, I don't have a problem. Let's use some of the Dutch liquidity and let's go back all the way to 2010. Let's review every decision since 2010. Because some of the decisions ministers dealing with now started since 2010. Okay? They undoing it since 2010. One of the key examples of that is what Minister Anna Richardson is doing. Okay? And I'm going to give her, again as a fair person, I'm going to give her a little
leeway,
a big up, right? Because she met a disaster, a mess. And I must say, with what I know from behind the scenes and things like that, she is doing her best to solve it out. You understand? And so far, she's one of those that is working with the Dutch on a mutually respectful way, right? And cooperation to make things happen. So under her watch now, the Dutch have agreed to give them the money for the prison, something that we requested that they didn't give, right? Even though we were not calling them Hitler, right? Wow. So if I ever meet with say Secretary Knops again, because I met with him as chair, I'm going to bring that up. So I'm going to say, maybe if you had give us the money for the prison, right? Maybe we wouldn't have all those problems that help lead also to the government falling, okay? But I'm happy she got it now, because we don't have the money to bill it. We have human rights issues at a prison. When I visited the former MP at a prison, right, I left that prison with tears in my eyes. Because it's not a right place for nobody to be up there, okay? And when you hear somebody describing how they are and the condition thing, I don't want that for nobody, okay? I don't care what you do. You shouldn't be in those kind of things. No, we got the money, and she's working on it. The prison gonna be built. The politicians gonna mess it up too, though. You know they'll mess it up.
Concessions.
No, you want to come say who gonna build it? The Dutchman gonna build it. This. But guess what? If you giving me the money to build it, you think I care who build it? On the contrary, you know what I do? That's how I operate in business. You give me the money. If you're willing to build it, that's even a better deal for me. You know why? Because then you're not only responsible for building it, but you're responsible for managing your own money.
Right.
So you can't point finger at me. And guess what? When you give me that key after, anything that's wrong at the prison, I come back to you.
Yeah, exactly.
You build it. You pay for it.
True.
So why not? I would even go further. I posted it. I would leave them run it. I will leave them run it, because they will then have to pay those workers up there the way they pay the workers in Holland, right? And they would have to pay them at least comparable salaries. They would have to make sure they have all the thing. So right now the prison also, they're dealing with UNOPS, which is something that the former Minister of Justice started also dealing with. And UNOPS is the branch of the
relation to CONOPS.
No, they ain't causing or nothing. They are the UN branch that handles, they deal with specialized in prisons. So they could could sort of look at your drawings and help you do drawings that are going to fit the human rights.
Human rights.
Okay, so they're going to look at your space and design a prison tailor-made to your needs, right, to your country, that doesn't break human rights things. So I think all in all, that's very good news. And we could see more of those things happening. We see with the trust fund, you're starting to see the money pay off. I've been saying that, screaming it in Parliament. Based on the capacity that we have as a government apparatus, it would take at least 2-3 years to start to see the money rolling. Because our people, including myself, we're very bad at putting up files to get money. To get money from a bank, we got the best idea, but you know what the biggest obstacle is? The business plan.
Paperwork.
Who gonna write it? The paperwork. So it literally take us 3 years, but it's moving now, and things starting to come out. I'm gonna say something again to encourage people. There's 35 million that we had earmarked when we were there also to help young business owners, startups, as well as existing businesses. I think per person you can get 2 of those loans, and I think you can get up to 150,000 that is guaranteed and different things. I don't know all of the details, but I'm encouraging people, right? Go and try to get the money. Go and try to get. So if you're doing a business, you're doing it off the books, and you think, right? Legalize your business. Go and get the startup funding and move from there. So, all in all, the benefits that I'm seeing that are there for us from the Dutch help and the Dutch money, right? It's good. You see the cohort? You know who only fight in the cohort? The parliamentarians and the Prime Minister flip-flopping about it, okay? Because the civil servants, thankfully, this time, right, they're not fighting it like they fought the trust fund. They're cooperating, they're happy. It seems like they're fed up. They're happy and they're cooperating and they're happy for the help that they're seeing progress and things are getting done and things are developing and all that. So all in all, how can I go on Facebook and just make it a black and white issue? How can I go on Facebook and make it about slavery when I'm seeing empirical evidence that this thing is helping us? Do I think that we should just leave the Dutch come in and do everything? No, no. We have to, and I wrote that all over Facebook, we have to own it. We have to own it. But part of owning something is knowing what you bring to the table, right? You can't want to come with me in a partnership, right? And I am the one that have all the expertise, right? But you out there, you see that some partnerships, you print a credit card and you walk around like you the big shot in the company. You ordering champagne in the club and you think, and that time you're not the force behind it. What you need to do, humble yourself, right? Learn from the person you're in partnership with, come up to his level, right? And when you reach that level, then guess what? Both are out there flossing and can look good. Because if you continue faking, right? Guess what? At some point your partner gonna say, partner, sayonara. Because you making me look bad, because I suffering all of the work, doing it, and you out there taking praise. So that's all I want from the government, Upgrade yourself. Use the opportunity with COVID. The cohort's supposed to be for 7 years. We can break the contract if we want during that time by parties coming back together. But what people don't realize, we got Irma, worst hurricane in the history. All meteorologists are telling you we're going to get more such of those storms, okay? Now we get a pandemic, something we never thought of. You think any government can come in now and not have preparations for the future next pandemic? Because we're going to get more. We have to prepare for it now, okay? Then, if you don't have those plans in place, right, and you don't have that preparation, how are you going to save the country? You're going to be constantly going. But guess what? If you go along with a cohort, right, under negotiations of things that you can accept, if it involves reforms that are going to benefit you, and technical support, and money to do it, right, guess what? The cohort's for 7 years. But I mean, during that 7 years, anything I get, the Dutch have to help. So I could sort of relax and focus on getting better. I don't have to worry. I don't have to think. In the 7 years, you know what would happen? The 72 million that we get from the Dutch, from the trust fund, as a grant, that we are lending to the airport as a government at 4.85%. So rough calculation, by the time they pay back everything, interest and principal, let's call it 90 million. Okay? You know where that 90 million going?
Back to us.
It doesn't go back to the Dutch. So that's 90 million you're going to be getting back. Within that 7 years, you could possibly have back that 90 million. So by the time Coho finish, you got a 90 million. During that time, you increase your tax compliance, right? You're bringing in reserves. You know what I said with a Coho, and I said it when we were going over to status of party. If I had to be one of those older heads negotiating status of party, I would ask the Dutch for a transition period.
Like what Aruba did.
Yes. But Aruba had their transition period towards independence. We didn't ask for independence, but that's where I got the idea. Super. We want status of party, but I want transition period in between. I wanted 5 years with a possible to renew for 5 years. So within the first 5 years, you're going to help me get everything up to par, because I don't have the federal government here. Everything is in Kyoto. So I have to do everything from scratch. So you need to help me with the infrastructure, the people their options. And guess what? Many people may be surprised to hear me say that. But I hope after the 7 years, if we have proper data in that 7 years, we start to see that we really got the money to, because we like to say we got the money. But I'm nervous to say that now. I want to see proof.
Right.
When I see the proof that we got the money and I see it piling up by the bank, right? Then I will be one of those, right? I can't say I'm going to join Rhoda and them because I ain't going to join in that. I could tell you that from now. Okay? But you might actually see somebody say, but Chacho, you flip-flop and you back in independence. No, I always back in independence. I'm an independent person. I'm a business person. So I know what independence is. But I want independence under the right circumstances. And if we could get it after that 7 years, right? I will be looking to encourage the millennials. Let's start that movement to go for independence. Because guess what? If all you accept it, you have my support. Because who gonna live the longest with it?
True.
You realize already that the independence movement now, most of them is pensioners?
It's true.
It's not an insult or a joke though. Some of these people are people that were pillars in our community.
They don't have to,
but they live their time. And they're not gonna live to see it fail or live to see it succeed. You understand? So why would you sell your grandchildren with that? I ain't gonna do that. And even though I'm gonna be 49 in November, but I feel I reach an age I shouldn't be making that decision. You understand? Because you have to carry it.
Yeah.
So that is what I want, Super. And I want people to understand. If you have an issue with me, that's another thing. I got one of the best experiences for me in COVID was Swaliga K9, Cedric Ordega. Me and that guy were battling on Facebook for years. We used to really going at it. And we basically the same age. And it even before becoming MP, I used to even get personal. We used to go at each other with things, right? Prince happened to so I had him blocked. He had me blocked. Okay? so we can't see each other.
Right.
What we talking about with COVID. But it turns out we basically talking the same thing. So Prince now, who's the one seeing both of us now, he brought us together. Like, guys, are you talking the same thing? And you don't even know.
Right.
So I spoke with that guy the first time. We spoke about 3 hours on WhatsApp. And then we realized, what were we really fighting about, by the way? Right? And then we discussed where maybe he was right, where maybe I was right, where, And since then, that guy has become one of my, close people that I really value. We have a lot in common, I just tell him, you better become a politician soon because that's the only way you go tone down. Because he will fly off the handle too. He gets emotional. But he loves his country. You understand? And that has been a good experience. And I'm asking people, before you listen to what other people tell you about me, you come and ask me. And I can guarantee you, if you tell me who tell you things about me, I will explain to you why they're saying it. And I will prove to you why they're saying it.
True.
You understand? So,
and I've also seen you build some relationship with some of the what they call the Facebook profiles out there, where I don't know, just start popping up with the names and the fakes and the.
Well, you see, I'm happy you following it now. Listen, you good. I don't know about Roma, but you good. Let me tell you something. I have decided I'm going on a crusade. Okay? And I decided I'm going to kind of pull back a little bit with the whole political thing because I think I've exposed them enough. Right?
No, don't stop.
Don't stop? No. But I'm going to slow down. You know why? Because I feel sometimes like I'm getting blamed for things that I don't want to get blamed. So I'm going to slow down a little bit.
You're the reason gas gone up.
Maybe, I don't know. By the way, I ran out of diesel on the way here. I don't know how that happened to me for the first time.
Somebody siphoned you.
I don't know. I hope it ain't a whole lot of thing. I go check that. I didn't want to be late, so I think I go check that when I go back. So, but I'm gonna go on a crusade to fight those accounts. You know how I'm gonna do it? I had a eureka moment the other day because they
You sure you want to let them know?
Yeah, because I posted already.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I noticed that many times when people want to target me, they create a fake page,
right?
And then they start to challenge me in the parliament chat, in the different chats where I am, right? Facebook messed me up, by the way, because I started when they blocked me in parliament chat, when they wasn't leaving my things go up, because he was censoring it, censoring it. Mr. Pinocchio was censoring the parliament chat. So when you say something negative about them, it doesn't show up. You see it on the screen, it doesn't show up. I posted it, by the way, with screenshots and everything, and I prove it. I have it proven, okay? Now, the Prime Minister, she have a young boy helping her, and he was deleting negative comments too, and I proved that too. Okay, but he blocked me too, so that's okay. Now, what I'm gonna do with those fake accounts, right? What happened with them? I noticed that you have to first. You can't block them one time. You gotta first look at their trend. So they are created by politicians to support themselves. So G Money is my boy. So I say, G Money, you set up that account and you go defend me. Okay? And target Chacho. And target this one, target that. But you gotta, when you start off, you gotta target everybody, including me. But you can't go too hard on me. Okay? So give me a little tap. Okay? But you're showing people you're going at everybody. But I know the signs. And guess what? I just put traps in my post too. So don't think always that I misspell something because I'm stupid or something like that. Or I write something that may not seem to you right or something. Because I put it there as a trap. The person who noticed, right? Going to expose itself. And many of those fake accounts just come and expose itself on my page. Now, you may have seen the latest post. There's one named Born Antillian. I know him, right?
Right.
Well, I know the page.
The page.
Very
vocal. Very vocal. And please understand, I don't have a problem with a fake page, right? If you exposing things in general, but you're not attacking people personally. Once you start to challenge people personally, right, it's cowardly not to know for the person to know.
Of course, right.
Okay? Now, if you're exposing information, anything, I don't have a problem with your fake account. Okay? But when you start to attack people personal, then I have an issue. So, over the last days there, something came out on WhatsApp where it was sent to the editors, right? And a few of them put it up. BB put it up. Some others put it up. Where it was signed underneath as Born Antillian.
Right.
And it was referring to something with Ludi and all of those kind of things. Mr. or Mrs. or whichever one behind the Born Antillian went and did a post on Facebook and said, this is not me. This is not me. So here you have I found that so funny. You have a fake account, got their identity stolen. Okay? So I'm like, dude, the only way you will prove that now, right, is you gotta expose yourself. You gotta show me a thing. So I figured out a way now to neutralize them. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to start to now put out things. I'm going to encourage people to put out things and contrary to what they do and put their name.
True.
Okay? So that's going to try. I have another one now that come up recently, keeping them honest.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one too. Yeah.
They come on my page talking crap and saying things and all that, and then start targeting people on my page. And then the first thing I say before I block them is, listen, don't you find it ironic that your fake account page name Keeping Them Honest, and the first thing you do is you don't have your picture, you ain't honest with yourself, you honest with your own identity. Boy, then I block them. The other day I get now Claude Chacho Jr. pop up on my page. So the first thing I say, boy, you got a heavy name to carry, boy. Everything. So I start joking, leave him, Then I noticed last night he posting other comments on my page and going really too far and start calling out people name. So guess what? I tell him, I say, it was nice. I understand exactly what you're about now, right? And consider yourself blocked. Blocked. And I'm going to continue blocking them. I'll continue. Who want to keep engaging with them? I tell them, you do that on your own. You understand? But me personally, I'm not engaging with no fake accounts.
Okay.
No fake accounts.
All right, Chacho. Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
So it is too much, Chacho.
Yeah, man. 15 minutes wasn't enough, but
you get 2 hours.
Yeah, I get 2 hours, and
I think this is the longest interview.
You could wait for the kickback to end. Are you gonna be victimized for this too?
I'm sure.
How dare you give Chacho so much time on the radio? How dare you? You have to give me that too? I have a day.
The door is open for them, you know.
And for free.
The door is open for
Listen,
them.
we just invite them, but they don't come.
They don't want to come.
So that's their fault.
That like the fella say on the radio yesterday, where I went yesterday. I tell him, I say, invite the Prime Minister. Let her tell you that I'm wrong. Let her show you the evidence, what she did to assist the airport, that she genuinely tried to work on it.
Oh,
you know what he answered?
They only come in opposition.
He said it only come when they're in opposition. Guys, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
St.Maarten, thank you for listening. And you said something just now that I told you earlier. Say too much Chacho. I think it's too much Chacho now. So
No, but
Facebook government is going on a little hiatus.
No, but
You're on recess. You're on recess.
We are going to be on recess.
Yeah,
Yes,
recess.
thank you for that.
You're on recess.
We're going to recess, so you might see a lot of Bob Marley songs. you might
listen. We need people like you and others to
Watchdogs.
Watchdogs to expose, because like you said, they're giving us songs and dances and they're distracting us. Like today, we got 2 press releases, and my eyes were completely distractions.
Correct.
They were distractions.
Yeah.
And you need people like
I like
you
to
and
call a
others
quality controller.
to show. You have
quality
to
controller.
understand, there's average Joes that don't know what's going on. They just watch the grandstand
They watch the hype.
and they read the fake Facebook, or they have no idea. When you come and you say, listen, this is what's really happening with the FOB.
And you break it down in
this
terms
is
that
really
they
what's
can
happening with the
understand.
concession. And you open people's eyes like, oh.
Well, what I want to do, I not only want to open their eyes, but like I tell people, don't trust everything I say neither. Meaning, right?
Do your research.
Ask me more. Ask me more. You understand? There's certain things I may be able to do off the record. You understand? I don't have a problem meeting you and showing you a document if I need to show it to you. Whatever it's going to take for you to understand, start to think for yourself.
Right.
Start thinking for yourself.
A lot of them, they're not.
Start thinking so when a person tell you that the CEO bought a piece of steak for $3,300 something, right? Don't only take that information and run with it.
Right.
Okay? Go and ask a question. Right. Go and ask a question. And hopefully, right, the people are going to do that more and more. What I do not want to do though, and that's why I said I'm going to be taking a break.
Don't.
I'm going to take a break. You know why? Because I'm a St.Maartener. And a St.Maartener.
Love a vacation. Love a off day.
Love a half day.
Love a off day.
Yeah. Not only we love a half day, but I'm a St.Maartener. I live the island as one. So I live all over this island. And I know how we think. I know how a Dutch side St.Maarten and a French side St.Maarten think. I know the nuances and all that. And one of the things we good at that is destroying us, right, is we are okay with others carrying the bucket for us. But we can't continue doing that.
No.
I can't be the only watchdog.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I say, you know how much it takes from me?
A lot. It's a lot of your time.
You know how much time in my relationships I got big beef? Okay? Why? Because phone going off, and literally I can't disconnect. I'm one of those to brave to say, right? This thing is I'm hostage to
Controlling
this.
you, yeah.
The phone, yeah.
Why?
the phone.
Because I know you messaging me.
Yeah.
And you got something you're telling me important, so why I say, boy, listen, I gotta go sleep, or I gotta go do this. So I have made that sacrifice. It costs me in relationships. It costs me sometimes with my children. So I gotta find that balance.
I got you.
And mentally,
I feel you.
woo,
Yeah, you need a break.
I don't run out. My mouth I get dry sometimes. I ain't even eat, and I'm talking till I start to get bad. Feeling ready, but I didn't eat. So I gotta take a break. So this week since Snob's coming, go on the beach. You know why? Because I don't want nobody blame me for nothing. Maybe I'm going Friendside Beach. So if I meet with clubs, it gonna be on the beach Friendside.
He might contact you.
Yeah,
put
it'll
up
be
in
on the
it.
beach
You never
Friendside.
know.
So guys, thank you very much. Thank you for taking
Chacho,
this
for being
time.
on the wake up list today. We appreciate it.
Yes.
And keep up the great work. And like Rama said, the door is always open for anyone. If they want to come in, if they want to spend 2 hours, 3 hours, once the conversation is going, then we're open.
Once they got a substance and a context.
And I wish I had brought some documents, right?
Next time,
to show you.
yeah.
But it's good sometimes to just show it. You understand? Because I that's been always me in my life.
And don't redact the names. You want to see names too.
And what happens also, and I realize that's a trend in St.Maarten also, is the more you tell people the truth, it is not only St.Maarten. The more you tell people the truth, the more you're honest with them, right, the less they trust you. And that's unfortunate, and it's something that our culture have to overcome. You know, my mother tell me something yesterday. She say,
hush him out.
you say, no. She can't say hush him out because I offer that tree, and she just like me. She fights the battle on the French side, I fighting it over here. Now, she say, I don't understand. I understand why the people saying, don't say the Prime Minister lie. Because St.Maarten, we don't say the Prime Minister lie. We just say the Prime Minister didn't say the truth.
She untruth.
Yeah, she untruth. But in our minds, untruth is not a bad thing. But a lie is.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we have to start accepting things. When I go as far, I'm not a disrespectful person. I was raised as a respectful person. When I call a person a liar, it's because you really reach there.
Because you know.
You really reach there. When you see, I stop calling you by your last name. I start using your first name, I lose respect for you. And you gotta go far for me to reach that point. When I start putting MP in front of your name or putting, I never put honorable, but when I start putting, you know, and I call you out on your first name, it's because what you're doing to the country, I take it personal. Because that affects me. That affects each one of us. That's another thing we mistake in this country. We feel what they do does not affect us personally. And you know another issue we need to get over, St.Maarten? Don't wait till your house on fire. Don't wait till you are the one losing your job. Don't wait to speak out. When you see a neighbor house burning 3 houses down,
Wet yours.
have a little, not wet yours. Don't start wetting yours.
Wow. Wow.
Go out his.
That's a St.Maarten mentality we have.
Wet his.
You see your Jimmy Ben?
No. Go out his first with his water.
Wow.
And if you don't, if his house burn down complete, you rush back and wet yours. And that is the difference. So I'm happy you jump on it. You get catch. You get catch. So
I just got by the proverb.
So that is what.
That's why he running.
That is the things that, like I say, I want us to do. And guys, we can do it because we have a lovely country. People love this country, right? Everybody is saying too. By the way, like, can I address this one point?
Sure.
During COVID, I was attacked viciously by some of your party crews that are, you know, okay? Some of these club owners with these Greek names. Okay?
Oh, that party crew.
I want them to know. I want them to know. Chacho is a St.Maartener, right? Okay? Not a Johnny come lately, okay? And I can open my mouth when I want in my country about what I want in my country, right? And you're not going to intimidate me.
I from here.
Okay? I from here. All right? And like I'm going to tell them, right? I'm not going to allow them neither to damage my country. Now, everybody think that I'm anti-party. I love party, right? I'm not as fortunate as G-Money to be in that industry because G-Money in my age, right? G-Money should be pulling it up by now. But
G-Money way over here. He's your elder.
But me, I did my partying. I did my thing. I decided to move on to it's not my thing anymore. But I value your chance to party and enjoy and have your music and do our thing. But I just want you to understand also, that's why I tell my nephews and my niece and I tell my children, right? When I was your age, St.Maarten was a different place. My parents didn't have to worry about me. Okay? I used to go to the club, right, with my motor car. And I didn't have a license. So when I went down Studio 7, I barely meeting cars on the road. When I going home at night now, and I went Studio 7 and I get a Coke, right? And you get a free ticket. So
Coca-Cola.
A Coca-Cola.
Specify.
Specify. Thank you for that. A Coca-Cola.
Different times, different times.
Full up of ice, and then I go by the bar and I take the little small straws,
right.
and take out a big straw, and I sip that for good 2 hours, pretending I drinking a whiskey coke, right? And I go bust my dance move and go around the older boys and try to make myself feel, you know, go get a couple dances, get a couple no's, and you know, when I drive home, right, I wasn't under the influence and didn't have no cars. Okay, I meeting no cars on the road. But nowadays it's different. So all I ask in the young people, right, is understand that party don't finish. Okay, you got a lot of years of party ahead of you, and party is something that I just tell people partying is the most responsible thing you can do in your life. You know what I mean with that? It takes responsibility to do it, because if you out partying with money that you ain't pay a GB bill, you're irresponsible. If you going to work after your party, you're irresponsible. So be responsible and understand that. Do like G-Money. longevity. Party for longer years. Don't burn out everything now.
Right.
And unfortunately, for all your generation, unfortunately, you're born into the internet age. You're born into the
cell phone
social
age.
media. Everything is seen now.
Your influence.
Your influence. People could take a picture, you send it to your father while you're in the act, you know, and in a club and things like that. So all I'm telling people is that's no one's fault. That's the negative that all you have to deal with. And how are you carry it is how are you going to survive in all your life and how are you going to prosper down the line. So I'm encouraging young people, party responsibly. Don't be out there neither because you're vaccinated, just, you know, without mask. Do all your parties, wear your mask, be as safe as possible, and understand that you may have to deal with another pandemic down the line. So I think the party industry learned a lot from this, and I think next time we could do it more responsibly and benefit from it. But I'm asking people, right, don't expect to target me with your nonsense, right, and try to make me a scapegoat, okay? Because I don't be in your clubs and don't intend to be in your clubs neither, okay? Why? Because it may be I see something, I go straight to the police. Okay? That's how far I reach now.
You on social media already?
Already? Who got me up? Lace up, man. You fast, man. That's a problem. That's a nice picture too, man. I actually look handsome. And you know the trick? I wear the black
You're wearing black on the black background.
Not only that black background, hey, I look slim, boy. What is this? And I got another far to wear for life. Don't worry, boy. Anyway, so guys, thanks a lot.
Yes. You're
St.Maarten,
welcome.
I love you, and this been fun.
Yeah.
I need to come back more on this race.
For sure.
I'm unemployed right now.
Nah, he got more time.
Keep saying that, you know.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looking for. I ain't got no
I
space
know,
for Kowa.
I know.
You come back on the show, but not this year.
I know how you really become on 101. But I go over by election, see me election. Me and election, same generation, we got take over the spotlight from the 101. Wait.
A lot of people try, don't.
Guys, thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Thanks a
man,
lot.
we appreciate
Roma,
it.
I hope you get your carnival.
I hope so too.
I hope so. And all depends on the results for Super with his diet.
It's raw. It's on me, boy.
I'm planning to follow the same. And right now, I think I may go on Carnival next year.
Okay.
What's your goal weight?
No, you won't try to embarrass me now.
Oh,
But
sorry,
anyway,
no, but
I want to be my belly flat enough.
Once it flat enough
Get
for the
ready
thing to
to play
click.
on the thing. I actually look like I really have abs. Okay, I ain't gonna get no abs, but I want it to be flat enough. And I want to, let's say, I want to at least look like Prince when I'm in the Carnival. Cause Prince probably gonna go Carnival next year too.
Prince Herbert Martinez?
Yeah. You know,
Okay.
like he Carnival.
Yeah.
So I gonna go on Carnival because I was told that that's one of the ways to get elected.
Wow.
We go Carnival every year. People their options. And guess what? Many people may be surprised to hear me say that. But I hope after the 7 years, if we have proper data in that 7 years, we start to see that we really got the money to, because we like to say we got the money. But I'm nervous to say that now. I want to see proof.
Right.
When I see the proof that we got the money and I see it piling up by the bank, right? Then I will be one of those, right? I can't say I'm going to join Rhoda on them because I ain't going to join in that. I could tell you that from now. Okay? But you might actually see somebody say, but Chacho, you flip-flop and you back in independence. No, I always back in independence. I'm an independent person. I'm a business person. So I know what independence is. But I want independence under the right circumstances. And if we could get it after that 7 years, right? I will be looking to encourage the millennials. Let's start that movement to go for independence. Because guess what? If all you accept it, you have my support. Because who gonna live the longest with it?
True.
You realize already that the independence movement now, most of them is pensioners.
It's true.
It's not an insult or a joke though.
Yeah.
Some of these people are people that
time-
were
the time
pillars in
done.
our community.
They don't have to
But they
live
live
through
their
it.
time.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna live to see it fail or live to see it succeed. You understand? So why would you sell your grandchildren with that? I ain't gonna do that. And even though I'm gonna be 49 in November, but I feel I reach an age I shouldn't be making a decision. You understand? Because you have to carry it.
Yeah.
So that is what I want to put, and I want people to understand. If you have an issue with me, that's another thing. I got one of the best experiences for me in COVID was Swaliga K9, CJ Cordega. Me and that guy were battling on Facebook for years. We used to really going at it. And we basically the same age. And it even before becoming MP, I used to even get personal. It used to get personal. We used to go at each other with things, right? Prince happened to so I had him blocked. He had me blocked. Okay, so we can't see each other.
Right.
What we talking about with COVID? But it turns out we basically talking the same thing. So Prince now, who's the one seeing both of us now, he brought us together. Like, guys, are you talking the same thing? And you don't even know.
Right.
So I spoke with that guy the first time. We spoke about 3 hours on WhatsApp. And then we realized, what were we really fighting about, by the way? Right? And then we discussed where maybe he was right, where maybe I was right, where, And since then, that guy has become one of my, close people that I really value. We have a lot in common, I just tell him, you better become a politician soon because that's the only way you go tone down. Because he will fly off the handle too. He gets emotional. But he loves his country. You understand? And that has been a good experience. And I'm asking people, before you listen to what other people tell you about me, you come and ask me. And I can guarantee you, if you tell me who tell you things about me, I will explain to you why they're saying it. And I will prove to you why they're saying it.
True.
You understand? So,
and I've also seen you build some relationship with some of the what they call the Facebook profiles out there, where I don't know, just start popping up with the names and the fakes and the.
Well, you see, I'm happy you following it now. Listen, you good, you good. I don't know about Roma, but you good. Let me tell you something. I have decided I'm going on a crusade. Okay? And I decided I'm going to kind of pull back a little bit with the whole political thing because I think I've exposed them enough. Right?
No, don't stop.
Don't stop?
No.
But I'm going to slow down. You know why? Because I feel sometimes like I'm getting blamed for things that I don't want to get blamed. So I'm going to slow down a little bit.
You're the reason gas gone up.
Maybe. I don't know. By the way, I ran out of diesel on the way here. I don't know how that happened to me for the first time.
Somebody siphoned you.
I don't know. I hope it ain't a whole lot of thing. I'm going to check that. I didn't want to be late, so I think I'm going to check that when I go back. So, but I'm going to go on a crusade to fight those accounts. You know how I'm going to do it? I had a eureka moment the other day because they
You sure you want to let them know?
Yeah, because I posted already.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I noticed that many times when people want to target me, they create a fake page,
right?
And then they start to challenge me in the parliament chat, in the different chats where I am, right? Facebook messed me up, by the way, because I started when they blocked me in parliament chat, when they wasn't leaving my things go up, because he was censoring it, censoring it. Mr. Pinocchio was censoring the parliament chat. So when you say something negative about them, it doesn't show up. You see it on the screen, it doesn't show up. I posted it, by the way, with screenshots and everything, and I prove it. I have it proven, okay? Now, the Prime Minister, she have a young boy helping her, and he was deleting negative comments too, and I proved that too. Okay, but he blocked me too, so that's okay. Now, what I'm gonna do with those fake accounts, right? What happened with them? I noticed that you have to first. You can't block them one time. You gotta first look at their trend. So they are created by politicians to support themselves. So G Money is my boy. So I say, G Money, you set up the account and you go defend me. Okay? And target Chacho. And target this one, target that. But you gotta, when you start off, you gotta target everybody, including me. But you can't go too hard on me. Okay? So you give me a little tap. Okay? But you're showing people you're going at everybody. But I know the signs. And guess what? I just put traps in my post too. So don't think always that I misspell something because I'm stupid or something like that. Or I write something that may not seem to you right or something. Because I put it there as a trap. The person who noticed, right? Going to expose itself. And many of those fake accounts just come and expose itself on my page. Now, you may have seen the latest post. There's one named Bon Antillian. I know him, right?
Right.
Well, I know the page.
The page.
Very
vocal. Very vocal. And please understand, I don't have a problem with a fake page, right? If you exposing things in general, but you're not attacking people personally. Once you start to challenge people personally, right, it's cowardly not to know for the person to know.
Of course, right.
Okay? Now, if you're exposing information, anything, I don't have a problem with your fake account. Okay? But when you start to attack people personal, then I have an issue. So, over the last days there, something came out on WhatsApp where it was sent to the editors, right? And a few of them put it up. BB put it up. Some others put it up, where it was signed underneath as Born Until.
Right.
And it was referring to something with Ludi and all of those kind of things. Mr. or Mrs. or whichever one behind the Born Untillian went and did a post on Facebook and said, this is not me. This is not me. So here you have I found that so funny. You have a fake account, got their identity stolen. Okay? So I'm like, dude, the only way you approve that now, right, is you guys expose yourself. You guys show me a thing. So I figured out a way now to neutralize them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start to now put out things. I'm going to encourage people to put out things
and
contrary to what they do and put their name.
True.
Okay? So that's going to neutralize. I have another one now that come up recently, keeping them honest.
Oh yeah, I saw that one too. Yeah.
They come on my page talking crap and saying things and all that, and then start targeting people on my page. And then the first thing I say before I block them is, listen, don't you find it ironic that your fake account page named Keeping Them Honest, and the first thing you do is you don't have your picture, you ain't honest with yourself, you honest with your own identity. Boy, then I block them. The other day I get now Claude Jr. pop up on my page. So the first thing I say, boy, you got a heavy name to carry, boy. Everything. So I start joking, leave him, you know. Then I noticed last night he posting other comments on my page and going really too far and start calling out people name. So guess what? I tell him, I say, you know, it was nice. I understand exactly what you're about now, right? And he consider yourself blocked. Blocked. And I'm going to continue blocking them. I'll continue. Who want to keep engaging with them? I tell them, you do that on your own. You understand? But me personally, I'm not engaging with no fake accounts.
Okay.
No fake accounts.
All right, Chacho. Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
So it is too much, Chacho.
Yeah, man. 15 minutes wasn't enough, but
you get 2 hours.
Yeah, I get 2 hours, and
I think this is the longest
you could wait for the kickback too. Are you gonna be victimized for this too?
I'm sure.
How dare you give Chacho so much time on the radio? How dare you have to give me that too? I have a day.
The door is open for them, you know.
and for free.
The door is open for them.
Listen, we just invite them, but they don't come.
They don't wanna come.
So that's their fault.
That like the fella say on the radio yesterday, where I went yesterday. I tell him, I say, invite the Prime Minister. Let her tell you that I'm wrong. Let her show you the evidence, what she did to assist the airport, that she genuinely tried to work on it.
Oh,
you know what he answered?
They only come in opposition.
He said it only come when they're in opposition. Guys, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
St.Maarten, thank you for listening. And you said something just now that I told you earlier. You said too much Chacho. I think it's too much Chacho now. So
No, but
Facebook government is going on a little hiatus.
No, but
you're on recess. You're on recess.
We are going to be on recess. Yes, thank you for that one. We're going on recess, so you might see a lot of Bob Marley songs.
Listen. We need people like you and others to
watchdogs
to expose, because like you said, they're giving us songs and dances and they're distracting us. Like today, we got 2 press releases, and my eyes were completely distractions.
Correct.
They were distractions. And you need people like
I like
you
to
and
call a
others
quality controller.
to show. You have to understand, there's average Joes that don't know what's going on. They just watch the grandstand
They watch the hype.
and they read the fake Facebook and they have no idea. When you come and you say, listen, this is what's really happening with the FOB.
And you break it down in
this
terms
is
that
really
they
what's
can
happening with the
understand.
concession. And you open people's eyes like, oh.
Well, what I want to do, I not only want to open their eyes, but like I tell people, don't trust everything I say neither. Meaning, right?
Do your research.
Ask me more. Ask me more. You understand? There's certain things I may be able to do off the record. You understand? I don't have a problem meeting you and showing you a document if I need to show it to you. Whatever it's going to take for you to understand, start to think for yourself.
Right.
Start think for yourself.
A lot of them, they're not.
Start think for, so when a person tell you that the CEO bought a piece of steak for $3,300 something, right? Don't only take that information and run with it.
Right.
Okay? Go and ask a question. Right. Go and ask a question. And hopefully, right, the people are going to do that more and more. What I do not want to do though, and that's why I said I'm going to be taking a break.
Don't.
I'm going to take a break. You know why? Because I'm a St.Maartener. And a St.Maartener.
Love a vacation. Love a off day.
Love a off day.
Love a off day.
Yeah. Not only we love a off day, but I'm a St.Maartener. I live the island as one. So I know I live all over this island. And I know how we think. I know how a Dutch side St.Maarten and a French side St.Maarten think. I know the nuances and all that. And one of the things we good at that is destroying us, right, is we are okay with others carrying the bucket for us. But we can't continue doing that.
No.
I can't be the only watchdog.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I say, you know how much it takes from me?
A lot. It's a lot of your time.
You know how much time in my relationships I got big beef? Okay? Why? Because phone going off, and literally I can't disconnect. I'm one of those to brave to say, right? This thing is I'm hostage to
Controlling
this.
you, yeah.
The phone, yeah.
Why?
the phone.
Because I know you messaging me.
Yeah.
And you got something you're telling me important, so why I say, boy, listen, I gotta go sleep, or I gotta go do this. So I have made that sacrifice. It costs me in relationships. It costs me sometimes with my children. So I gotta find that balance.
Okay, I got you.
And mentally,
I feel you.
woo,
Yeah, you need a break.
I gotta run out. My mouth to get dry sometimes. I ain't even eat, and I'm talking till I start to get bad feeling already. But I didn't eat, So I gotta take a break. So this week this week since Snob's coming, go on the beach. You know why? Because I don't want nobody blame me for nothing. Maybe I'm going friendside beach. So if I meet with clubs, it gonna be on the beach friendside.
He might contact you.
Yeah, it'll be on the beach friendside.
Okay.
So guys, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chacho, for being on the Wake Up List today. We appreciate it.
Yes.
And keep up the great work. And like Rama said, the door is always open for anyone. If they want to come in, if they want to spend 2 hours, 3 hours, once the conversation is going, then we're open.
Once they got a substance and a context.
And I wish I had brought some documents, right?
next time.
To show you.
Yeah.
But it's good sometimes to just show it. You understand? Because I that's been always me in my life.
And don't redact the names. You want to see names too.
And what happens also, and I realize that's a trend in St.Maarten also, is the more you tell people the truth, it is not only St.Maarten. The more you tell people the truth, the more you're honest with them, right? The less they trust you. And that's unfortunate, and it's something that our culture have to overcome. My mother tell me something yesterday. She say,
Hush him out.
you saying, no. She can't say hush him out because I offer that tree, and she just like me. She fights the battle on the French side, I fighting it over here. No. She say, I don't understand. I understand why the people saying, don't say the Prime Minister lie. Because, man, we don't say the Prime Minister lie. We just say the Prime Minister didn't say the truth.
See, truth.
Yeah, she untruth. But in our minds, untruth is not a bad thing. But a lie is.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we have to start accepting things. When I go as far, I'm not a disrespectful person. I was raised as a respectful person. When I call a person a liar, it's because you really reach there.
Because you
really reach there.
You
When you see, I stop calling you by your last name. I start using your first name, I lose respect for you. And you gotta go far for me to reach that point. When I start putting MP in front of your name or putting, I never put honorable, but when I start putting, and I call you out on your first name, it's because what you doing to the country, I take it personal. Because that affects me. That affects each one of us. That's another thing we mistake in this country. We feel what they do does not affect us personally. And another issue we need to get over, St.Maarten? Don't wait till your house on fire. Don't wait till you are the one losing your job. Don't wait to speak out. When you see a neighbor house burning, 3 houses down,
Wet yours.
have a little, not wet yours. Don't start wetting yours. Go out his.
Wow.
Go out his.
That's a St.Maarten mentality we have.
Wet
Man.
his first.
You see your Jimmy Ben?
No. Go out his first with his water.
Wow.
And if his house burned down complete, you rush back and wet yours. And that is the difference. So I'm happy you jump on it. You get catch. So
I just got by the proverb.
So that is what.
That's why he running.
That is the things that, like I say, I want us to do. And guys, we can do it because we have a lovely country. People love this country, right? Everybody is saying too. By the way, can I address this one point?
Sure.
During COVID, I was attacked viciously by some of your party crews that are, okay? Some of these club owners with these Greek names. Okay?
Oh, that party crew.
I want them to know. I want them to know. Chacho is a St.Maarten, right? Okay? Not a Johnny come lately. Okay? And I can open my mouth when I want in my country about what I want in my country, right? And you're not going to intimidate me.
I from here.
Okay? I from here. All right? And like I'm going to tell them, right? I'm not going to allow them neither to damage my country. Now, everybody think that I'm anti-party. I love party. right? I'm not as fortunate as G-Money to be in that industry, because G-Money in my age, right? G-Money should be pulling it up by now. But
G-Money way over here. He's your elder.
But me, I did my partying. I did my thing. I decided to move on to it's not my thing anymore. But I value all your chance to party and enjoy and have all your music and do all your thing. But I just want you to understand also, that's why I tell my nephews and my niece, and I tell my children, right? When I was all your age, St.Maarten was a different place. My parents didn't have to worry about me. Okay? I used to go to the club, right, with my motor car, and I didn't have a license. So when I went on Studio 7, I barely meeting cars on the road. When I going home at night now, and I went Studio 7 and I get a Coke, right, and because you get free tickets. So
Coca-Cola.
A Coca-Cola. Specify. Thank you for that. A Coca-Cola.
Different times, different times.
Full up of ice, and then I go by the bar and I take the little small straws,
right,
and take out a big straw, and I sip that for good 2 hours, pretending I drinking a whiskey Coke, right? And I go bust my dance move and go around the older boys and try to make myself feel, you know, go get a couple dances, get a couple no's, and you know, when I drive home, right, I wasn't under the influence and didn't have no cars. Okay, I meeting no cars on the road. But nowadays it's different. So all I ask in the young people, right, is understand that party don't finish. Okay, you got a lot of years of party ahead of you, and party is something that I just tell people, partying is the most responsible thing you can do in your life. You know what I mean with that? It takes responsibility to do it, because if you all partying with money that you ain't pay a GB bill, you're irresponsible. If you going to work after your party, you're irresponsible. So be responsible and understand that. Do like G-Money, longevity, party for longer years. Don't burn out everything now.
Right.
And unfortunately, for all your generation, unfortunately, you're born into the internet age. You're born into the social media. Everything is seen now.
Your influence.
Your influence. People could take a picture, you send it to your father while you're in the act, you know, and in a club and things like that. So all I'm telling people is that's no one's fault. That's the negative that all you have to deal with. And how are you carry it is how are you going to survive in all your life, and how are you going to prosper down the line. So I'm encouraging young people, party responsibly. Don't be out there neither because you're vaccinated, just, you know, without mask. Do all your parties, wear your mask, be as safe as possible, and understand that you may have to deal with another pandemic down the line. So I think the party industry learned a lot from this, and I think next time we could do it more responsibly and benefit from it. But I'm asking people, right, don't expect to target me with your nonsense, right, and try to make me a scapegoat, okay? Because I don't be in your clubs and don't intend to be in your clubs neither, okay? Why? Because it may be I see something, I go straight to the police. Okay? That's how far I reach now.
You on social media already?
Already? Who got me up? Lace up, man. You fast, man. That's the problem. That's a nice picture too, man. I actually look handsome. And you know the trick? I wear the black
You're
shirt.
wearing black on the black background.
Not only that black background, hey, I look slim, boy. What is this? And I got another far to wear for life. Don't worry, boy. Anyway, so guys, thanks a lot.
Yes. You're
Martin,
welcome.
I love you, and this been fun.
Yeah.
I need to come back more on this race.
For sure, for sure.
I'm unemployed right now.
Nah, he got more time.
Keep saying that, you know.
Yeah, he looking for, I ain't got
You
no
hot,
space for co-work.
You come back on the show, but not this year.
I know how you really even become on 101. But I go over my election, see my election. Me and election, same generation, we got take over the spotlight from the 101. Wait.
A lot of people try, yeah, don't.
Guys, thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Thanks a
man,
lot.
we appreciate
Roma,
it. We
I hope you
appreciate
get
it.
your carnival.
I hope so too.
I hope so. And all depends on the results for Super with his diet.
It's on me, boy.
I'm planning to follow the same. And right now, I think I may go on Carnival next year.
Okay.
What's your goal weight?
No, you're trying to embarrass me now.
Oh,
but
sorry,
anyway,
no, but
I want to be my belly flat enough.
Once it flat enough
Get
for the
ready
thing to
spray
click.
on the thing. I actually look like I really have abs. Okay, I ain't gonna get no abs, but I want it to be flat enough. And I want to, let's say, I want to at least look like Prince when I'm in the carnival. Cause Prince probably gonna go carnival next year too.
Prince Herbert Martina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Carnival.
Yeah.
So I gonna go on carnival because I was told that that's one of the ways to get elected.
Wow.
Go carnival every year.
I was talking about we might get cancelled because of everything he just said. That's what I'm talking about.
You mean get gag again? They too know about gagging, you know. It happened after Irma.
You remember that?
My gagging on the weekends.
We'll be back tomorrow from 6 to 10.
Doing it all over again.
Hey, go me spoon. Leave us off with a snap. Something nice and positive brought to us by Credits. A ticket from the book.
No, ain't taken from the book of Unholy.
You want Chacho give us?
I want to hand it over to my homie Dub C.
Dub C?
WC Claude Chacho.
Oh, Dub C.
Jeez, man. I got it.
No, but Chacho.
I wrote CCP. I signed something as CCP, a post. And Matthew Harley say he thought it was the Chinese Communist Party.
No, but Chacho, I want you to leave us off with a quote. There's something that you always end off your posts with on Facebook with the integrity and
the one that I think people need to follow right now, more importantly this week, is the integrity of the messenger is more important than the content of the message. Without integrity, the message has zero value. For those who may not understand, if a person is telling you something that sounds nice to you, but you know that they are scam, right? You don't listen to the message. You just go tone deaf to it. Because what I see a lot of times, I see a lot of people saying the nice words, getting a lot of likes, and then you have people feeling that by saying, oh, he doing a good job, I agree with him and think, you know what you're doing? You're actually fueling the snake all 6 months. And you're building him up. You're giving them popularity. So always look at the messenger, the integrity of the messenger. And that's important. Thanks a lot.
Moving.
I'm finally ready to